Chapter 22:13. The helicopter is ready. It's parked on the tarmac of our base. It can be used at any time. Little Think Tank said, "Where is Elder You?" "Oh, Elder You drank too much. He hasn't woken up yet. He asked me to tell you not to disturb him." Dong Jun said, "If this is the case, then I will go first." "Oh." Little Think Tank was slightly stunned and said, "Mr. Falcon, Elder You is in the room. Please allow me to take a look." "Of course, it's not that I don't believe you. I'm just afraid that Elder You will catch a cold if he drinks too much and falls asleep directly." "Of course." Dong Jun secretly admired this little think tank in his heart. He is really a little think tank. He is very smart. He probably saw that Elder You didn't come out when Dong Jun was about to leave, so he was worried that something might have happened to Elder You. Fortunately, Dong Jun came to secretly plant the voodoo. If he secretly came to assassinate Elder You, then he would definitely not be able to escape. But now, Dong Jun didn't have the slightest worry. He didn't think that little think tank could see any problems. As a matter of fact, Lin Dongfang was planted with the quick cicada voodoo. Even Lon Ling couldn't see it. When the voodoo was taken out, Elder You couldn't see it. It was enough to prove the strangeness of this quick cicada voodoo. Therefore, although little think tank was smart, his attainments in voodoo weren't great. Therefore, Dong Jun wasn't afraid of him looking. Sure enough, little think tank went to the previous room and took a look. He found that Elder You was sleeping soundly. There was no other abnormal situation. He was still holding a wine glass in his hand. It was obvious that he drank too much and fell asleep, so little think tank was relieved. He quickly ran out and said to Dong Jun, "Senior Falcon, sorry for making you wait." "Ha, this is nothing." Dong Jun waved his hand and said, "How is Elder You?" "I saw that he drank too much, so I didn't dare to move him." "Why don't we move him to the bed?" "No need. Elder You doesn't like to be disturbed when he sleeps." Little Think Tank said, "Senior Falcon, let's go to the tarmac now. The helicopter is ready." "Okay." Dong Jun nodded. Elder You really didn't like to be disturbed when he was resting. Therefore, after little think tank confirmed that Elder You was fine, he wanted to take Dong Jun and leave as soon as possible. He didn't want to wake Elder You up. Otherwise, he would be scolded. Little Tactician left with Dong Jun. Just as Dong Jun wanted, the two of them arrived at the tarmac. Little Tactician said, "Mr. Falcon, do you know how to fly a plane? Do you need me to find a pilot to help you?" "Hee, no problem. I naturally know how to open it. I can go by myself. This can also show my sincerity. Otherwise, it would be too fake if someone sent me here and picked me up every time," Dong Jun said. The little tactician said in his heart, "Is it fake?" Yang Ming was very smart. No matter what he did, it was not easy to gain his trust. However, he did not say much. After all, Dong Jun was not from the Hmong village. He was invited by Elder You to help. He could do whatever he wanted. "All right, Mr. Falcon, please," Little Think Tank said. Dong Jun boarded the helicopter and started it. He slowly flew into the sky and left Elder Yu's base. He suddenly had an unprecedented sense of ease in his heart. Piloting a helicopter was not a difficult task for Dong Jun. Back then, Yang Ming's training discs were obtained with Dong Jun's help. If Yang Ming knew something, he naturally knew it too. It could be said that in addition to those powerful killing methods and martial arts, Dong Jun knew no less than Yang Ming. Dong Jun was a godly thief. Generally, powerful thieves had a strong memory. After checking out the spots, when they carried out a theft, they could always find a way to retreat safely. Therefore, Dong-jun only went back and forth to the Medicine Valley once, and he had already memorized the entire flight route. After leaving Elder Yu's base, he went straight to the Medicine Valley. At this moment, it was 4:00 in the morning. The roar of a helicopter engine appeared in the sky above the Medicine Valley. Elder Yu had never sent someone over so early before, so this time, the sound of the engine in the early morning was very abrupt. Yang Ming, as the disciple of the King of Assassins, was very alert. Almost after hearing the sound of the helicopter, he jumped out of bed, put on his clothes, and quickly ran out of the villa. Yang Ming was the first person to come to the open space of the Medicine Valley. At this moment, Yang Ming also saw a helicopter slowly flying toward the valley. At this time, the helicopter came here. Who could it be? Thinking of this, Yang Ming immediately used his X-ray vision and telescopic vision special abilities and looked at the helicopter in the distance. However, when he saw the person in the helicopter, he could not help but smile because this person was the person he wanted to see, Dong-jun. There were only two possibilities for Dong-jun to come here at this time. The first possibility was that Dong-jun failed and had to escape. The second possibility was that he succeeded, so he drove the helicopter to meet up with Yang Ming. Of course, the latter was more likely than the first possibility. If Dong-jun failed, he probably would not have escaped from Elder Yu's hands so easily. How could there not be a helicopter chasing after him? Moreover, if he failed, he would escape to the Medicine Valley, a place that Elder Yu knew. Wasn't that equivalent to courting death? Thinking of this, Yang Ming was basically certain that Dong-jun had succeeded. Yes, it could be seen from the excitement on his face that he should have succeeded. At this time, Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, Lu Tianqi, and Lin Dongfang also walked out of the villa. Lan Ling and Xia Shuai also put on their clothes and ran out with Yang Ming. Everyone heard the sound of the helicopter in the air, so they couldn't help but be stunned at this moment. Bro, who would come at this time? Lu Yezi looked at the helicopter in the sky that was quickly approaching and asked. Guess. Yang Ming smiled. Guess. Lu Yezi was stunned, but then, a look of joy flashed across his face and said, could it be Brother Dong-jun? Yes, it's him. Yang Ming nodded and said. Ah. It's really him. At this time, Feng Tianlong, Lu Tianqi, and Lin Dongfang were also surprised. They didn't expect Dong-jun to come back so quickly. Dong-jun just left yesterday, and he came back in less than a day. Dong-jun, did you complete that thing? Lan Ling also asked with some surprise. It seems to be so. Otherwise, he wouldn't be here. Yang Ming said, but for the details, we have to wait until he gets off the plane and ask again. Chapter 22:14. N. Lan Ling nodded. Her question was also a question that everyone wanted to ask, so after Lan Ling asked, everyone looked at the helicopter in the distance with anticipation. They hoped that it would land earlier so that they could ask Dong-jun if he had completed the voodoo on Elder Yu. Finally, the helicopter slowly landed in the open space of the Medicine Valley under everyone's expectant gaze. When the helicopter just landed, the motor was not turned off yet. Everyone couldn't wait to run over. When everyone ran to the front of the helicopter, Dong-jun also got off the helicopter. When he saw everyone here, he was a little surprised. Why are you all here? We saw that you came back, so we naturally came to welcome you. Yang Ming said with a smile, Dong-jun, how is it? It seems that the mission has been successfully completed. Haha, fortunately, I didn't fail. Dong-jun nodded heavily. Elder Yu has already taken the quick cicada voodoo. Moreover, the voodoo should have begun to attack. His memory has begun to decline. Oh. It has already attacked. Then how did you escape successfully? Yang Ming was slightly stunned. You guys get on the plane. We will leave here quickly. It is estimated that after a while, Elder Yu's helpers will find that something is wrong with Elder Yu. They will definitely come to find trouble with us. Let's go first. Anyway, Elder Yu is finished. Your mission has been completed, said Dong Jun. Dong Jun was also afraid that a long night would bring trouble. If they stayed here for a long time, Elder Yu's underlings would retaliate against them. That's not necessary. Lon Ling waved her hand and said, Elder Yu is in trouble. His underlings are just a motley crew. Let's not talk about whether they will think that you did something. Even if they think and come to find us, we are not afraid of them. Oh. Dong Jun was slightly stunned. Ling Ling is right. In terms of skill, as long as Elder Yu is finished, none of his underlings are our opponents. If we compete with Voodoo, they are not Ling Ling's opponent. So, even if we stay here, we are very safe, said Yang Ming. It turned out to be like this. I was too nervous. I was too worried. Dong Jun breathed a sigh of relief and nodded. Previously, he still wanted to quickly come over and help Yang Ming and others escape, but after thinking about it carefully, Yang Ming's words were very reasonable. Elder Yu was finished. What was there to be afraid of? Now, quickly tell us what's going on, Yang Ming asked anxiously. Okay. It's like this. Dong Jun nodded and began to tell Yang Ming and others what happened after he and Elder Yu returned to Elder Yu's base. When Yang Ming heard that Elder Yu drank the quick cicada voodoo without looking at it, he was suddenly speechless. These people had deliberately planned to deal with Elder Yu for several months, but there was no progress and result. Instead, Dong Jun came and had a meal with Elder Yu and a few glasses of wine, and it was solved. In fact, it was that easy. It was daunting but not dangerous. Dong Jun shrugged and said, however, thinking about it carefully, we just took advantage of a loophole. Elder Yu was completely unguarded against me. If he treated me like how he treated you, then I definitely wouldn't have a chance. That's right. That's true. Yang Ming nodded and said, but this Elder Yu really reaped what he sowed. He invited you to watch him show off, but in the end, he was finished. Yeah, but what should we do now? Asked Dong Jun. Now is a good opportunity to deal with Elder Yu. Lon Ling said, let's go to Lon Miao village immediately and let grandmother lead the people of Lon Miao village to capture all of Elder Yu's direct subordinates. Then, we will merge Elder Yu's Miao village with Lon Miao village. Okay, then let's go now. Dong Jun nodded and said, let's get on the helicopter. This helicopter is very big. It's enough to fit all of us. Yang Ming nodded and got on the helicopter with the others. The space on the helicopter was really big because this helicopter was used to transport living materials and experimental equipment for Yang Ming and the others. A small helicopter naturally couldn't do the job. So, at this time, when everyone got on, there was still a lot of space. However, there weren't many seats on the helicopter. The back row was a storage space, but Yang Ming and the others didn't need to sit on the seats at all. The seats were given to the two pregnant women, Xiao Susu, Yi, and the two ladies, Xia Shuai and Lon Ling. The rest of the men sat directly on the floor of the warehouse. Lon Ling commanded Dong Jun to fly to Lon Miao village in front. Before Elder Yu woke up, Lon Ling wanted to bring this news back to Lon Miao village so that her grandmother could capture all of Elder Yu's direct subordinates in one fell swoop. As for the people of Elder Yu's Miao village, Lon Ling didn't want to do anything to them. After all, those people were ordinary people and innocent. When Elder Yu killed them, they would naturally move to Lon Miao village to live. In Lon Miao village, a guard in charge of night duty suddenly heard the sound of a helicopter in the sky. He was stunned for a moment, but then he immediately used the walkie-talkie to inform his superior. His superior also immediately reported this news to the current leader of Lan Miao village, Lan Ling's grandmother. Grandma Lan was a little puzzled when she heard that a helicopter was flying over at this time. However, as the person in charge of Lan Miao village, she immediately brought Elder Zhua, the deputy chief, and the rest to the open space outside Lan Miao village. She used binoculars to look at the helicopter that was flying quickly towards them. Madam Lan, this helicopter is probably flying towards us. Elder Zhua looked in the direction of the helicopter in the sky and said with a frown. After all, other than Lan Miao village, there were no other Miao villages here. It wasn't a tourist attraction, so the helicopter's destination was most likely Lan Miao village. Who would come to our Lan Miao village at this time? Grandma Lan was also very confused. Madam Lan. The logo on this helicopter seems to belong to Elder Yu's Miao village. The deputy chief looked more closely and compared it with the binoculars. He suddenly frowned and said worriedly. Elder Yu's people. Grandma Lan was stunned. Although Lan Miao village and Elder Yu were enemies, there had never been a large-scale conflict. This was because both sides knew that they wouldn't act rashly before they had the confidence to kill the other party in one fell swoop. Chapter 22:15. And this time, Elder Yu's people came here. What was the matter? Grandma Lan was not surprised that Elder Yu could find the location of Lan Miao village. After all, Elder Yu left Lan Miao village. It would be strange if he couldn't find it. However, this time, Elder Yu's people came at a strange time. It was just early in the morning. Even if he sent an envoy, he wouldn't choose this time, right? Of course, if it was a sneak attack, it was even more impossible because the reason was very simple. Who would send a helicopter for a sneak attack? With such a loud roar, even a deaf person could hear it. Moreover, how many people could a helicopter carry? Although it was a large helicopter, it could only carry a dozen people at most. It was simply courting death for such a small number of people to sneak attack Lan Miao village. Not to mention that Lan Miao village had 3 masters, Grandma Lan, the deputy chief, and Elder Zhua. The mechanisms and whatnot were enough to deal with these people. Therefore, Grandma Lan was very puzzled and asked this question. Yes, it's strange, but the logo on the helicopter is indeed from Elder Yu's side. Elder Zhua also nodded at this moment and said, I have seen this logo before. It was in Elder Yu's Miao village. Why did they come at this time? Grandma Lan frowned and asked curiously, Elder Zhua, what do you think of this? I'm not sure yet, but there must be something wrong. Madam Lan, I think there must be something fishy about this matter. Elder Zhua also couldn't understand why Elder Yu sent people here so early in the morning. What is he up to? Then we can only wait for them to land. Grandma Lan said, but we should be alert. I'm afraid they don't have good intentions for coming at this time. Elder Zhua and the deputy chief both nodded in agreement. At the same time, they were secretly alert. The helicopter was getting closer and finally landed on the open space in front of Lan Miao village. This was Lan Miao village's own helipad. Because Lan Miao village was located deep in the mountains, there was usually no other means of transportation except for helicopters. Under the gaze of Grandma Lan, Elder Zhua, and the deputy chief, the helicopter slowly turned off. The helicopter's hatch opened, and a familiar smiling face appeared. This made the 3 big figures of Lan Miao village feel relieved. It was because they were too familiar with this person. It was Grandma Lan's granddaughter, Lan Ling. Ling Ling. Why are you here? Grandma Blue looked at Lan Ling strangely as she got off the helicopter. Grandma, we've succeeded. Lan Ling said excitedly when she saw her grandmother, whom she hadn't seen in a long time. You succeeded. What success? Grandma Lan was stunned. She didn't know what Lan Ling was talking about. However, Elder's expression changed slightly because he guessed something from Lan Ling's words and the helicopter that they drove back. Could it be that what Lan Ling said about success meant that they had successfully dealt with Elder Yu? Although this sounded a bit outrageous, because Lan Ling really came back and was piloting Elder Yu's helicopter, there were only two possibilities. One was that she had been instigated by Elder Yu, and the other was that she had defeated Elder Yu. Otherwise, how could they have gotten out of the Medicine Valley? How did he seize Elder Yu's plane? Of course, the first possibility was too small. Putting aside the fact that Lan Ling and Elder Yu were enemies, not only did Elder Yu bring disaster to Lan Miao Village, but he also chased Lan Miao Village's village master, Lan Hai, who was also Lan Ling's grandfather, all over the place. How could Lan Ling let go of this hatred? So, there was only the second possibility left. Ling Ling, do you mean that you gave Elder Yu? Elder Swa said in disbelief, yes, we gave the quick cicada goo to Elder Yu. He will probably become amnesiac and gradually become a fool. Lan Ling nodded and said. Immediately after that, Yang Ming, Feng Tianlong, Lin Dongfang, Dong Jun, Lu Tianqi, and others came down from the helicopter. These people weren't Elder Yu's subordinates. This also indirectly proved that Lan Ling's words were true. They really defeated Elder Yu. You really gave the quick cicada goo to Elder Yu. Grandma Lan said in surprise, Ling Ling, you are too powerful. Elder Yu actually swallowed the quick cicada goo. Yeah, it's like this. Lan Ling told Grandma Lan, Elder Zwa, and the deputy chief how Dong Jun bewitched Elder Yu and cooperated with Yang Ming to put the quick cicada goo into Elder Yu's wine cup. Amazing, amazing. Heroes come from the young since ancient times. This saying is right. I really didn't expect this. Deputy Chief sighed in shame. At first, I was afraid that Ling Ling was too young and impulsive, so I strongly opposed Lan Miao Village sending people to help her. But I didn't expect that she didn't need our help and completed the mission. Ling Ling, I apologize to you for what happened back then. I sincerely accept this matter. In the future, when you take over as the village chief of Miao Village, I will do my best to support you. I won't disobey you anymore. Deputy Chief was such a person. He was wholeheartedly for Lan Miao Village. He didn't have any selfish motives before, so once he acknowledged Lan Ling's ability, he would naturally be loyal. In fact, he was just more stubborn and conservative. He wasn't a bad person. So, Lan Ling didn't blame him at all. He just didn't want to use Lan Miao Village as a bet. There was no harm in being conservative. So, Lan Ling smiled slightly and said, Deputy Chief, my grandfather should be the village chief. I won't be the village chief. After this matter is over, I will go to another place with Yang Ming to live in seclusion. Ah. That's a pity. Deputy Chief sighed, but he didn't force it. Everyone had their own ambitions. He admired Lan Ling very much now, so he wouldn't refute what Lan Ling said. In fact, in this matter, Lan Ling had just maintained a strong confidence. The one who really played a key role was Dong Jun himself. Without Dong Jun's help, Lan Ling would never be able to deal with Elder Yu so quickly. Ling Ling, you did well. This quick cicada goo, probably took Elder Yu's life. Let alone him, even your grandfather, and I can't cure it. This quick cicada goo is a goo poison passed down from ancient times. It has been lost for a long time. Not to mention an antidote, we can't even refine another one. Grandma Lan said happily, as long as Elder Yu becomes demented, his subordinates naturally won't be a threat anymore. Chapter 22:16. Oh yeah, Grandma, we came back in such a hurry because we want you to lead the Blue Miao Village to attack Elder Yu's Miao Village and capture all of them in one fell swoop. Lon Ling said, let's stop talking and waste time. Let's get down to business first. Attack Blue Meow Village. Now. Grandma Lon was slightly stunned and then said, since Elder Yu has just been poisoned by the quick cicada goo, it must not be fully active yet. Let's wait for a few days until his Meow Village is in complete chaos before we take over. That way, we can take over Elder Yu's subordinates without much effort. If we go now, those subordinates might still be stubbornly resisting. That way, we will have to waste more effort. I see. Lon Ling thought that what Grandma said made sense. It was indeed so. Under Elder Yu's leadership, Elder Yu's Meow Village had a blind trust in him. Especially after Elder Yu won a few battles with them, his subordinates flattered him even more. Even if Elder Yu was poisoned by the quick cicada goo, they would think that it was only temporary. Hence, it was not a good time to attack Elder Yu's Meow Village now. If they waited for a few more days, Elder Yu's Meow Village would be completely activated and he would become a forgetful idiot. That way, Elder Yu's subordinates would not know what to do. By then, the loyal subordinates would form one faction while the ordinary people would form another faction. Elder Yu's Meow Village would be in chaos and there would be infighting. That way, they could easily take over Elder Yu's Meow Village. As for the loyal subordinates of Elder Yu, they could deal with them directly. As for the ordinary people, they could just take them into Blue Meow Village. By then, Elder Yu would not be a threat anymore. Even if the loyal subordinates resisted, it would not cause any trouble. Grandma is so thoughtful. I thought we should do it as soon as possible. But I didn't expect that it would take more effort. Lon Ling said embarrassedly. It's already not easy for you to think of reporting to us immediately. If you had chosen to do it yourselves, that would be thoughtless of you. Grandma Lon waved her hand and said, you must not have slept well, right? Come to Blue Meow Village to rest first. When you wake up, we will discuss how to deal with Elder Yu. All right. Then we will go and rest first. Lon Ling nodded. She was very familiar with Lon Meow Village. As she spoke, she brought Yang Ming and the rest to find a guest room to rest. As for Yang Ming and the others, they were very tired after the long and stressful journey. They followed Lon Ling to the guest room and rested. Grandma Lon, the deputy chief, and elders who gathered all the core members of Blue Meow Village and held a meeting to discuss how to deal with Elder Yu. Elder Yu's Meow Village. At this moment, it was indeed like what Grandma Lon had analyzed. It was a little chaotic. Of course, it was Elder Yu himself who was a little confused. There was a problem, and others hadn't discovered it yet. Elder Yu woke up early in the morning and went to the bathroom in a daze. Little Think Tank hurriedly walked over to support Elder Yu, but Elder Yu waved his hand and walked in the direction of the bathroom. When Elder Yu finished using the toilet and wanted to go back, he was a little dizzy. Huh? What was I doing in the toilet just now? Elder Yu, what did you say? Little Think Tank heard Elder Yu's words and quickly ran over. What did I say? What did I say? Elder Yu was also stunned. Elder Yu, you just said what you were doing in the toilet. Little Think Tank explained. Did I say that? Oh, I think I said it. Right, I came to the toilet to go to the toilet. Elder Yu shook his head and returned to the room with the help of Little Think Tank, but he suddenly saw a table of banquet in the room, and he was stunned. I drank yesterday. Yeah, Elder Yu, what happened to you? Little Think Tank felt inexplicable. Why did Elder Yu look weird this morning? Could it be that he hasn't sobered up yet? Really? I drank by myself. Elder Yu was even more inexplicable. Why would I drink when I have nothing to do? Elder Yu, you haven't woken up yet. Are you still drunk? Little Think Tank finally couldn't help but ask, you drank with Senior Falcon yesterday. If you haven't woken up yet, then sleep a little longer. I drank with Falcon. Yes, I came here to drink with Brother Dong Jun. Elder Yu nodded and remembered yesterday's matter, so he said, "Where is Brother Dong Jun now?" Senior Falcon flew the helicopter to the Medicine Valley early in the morning. He said that you discussed with him and came up with a good idea, so he couldn't wait to go. Said Little Think Tank. We discussed again and came up with a good idea. Really? Elder Yu's eyes flashed with a hint of confusion. He tried to recall the content of the conversation with Dong Jun yesterday, but he couldn't remember it, so he said, "I'll sleep for a while." I seem to be a little confused. I haven't sobered up yet. Elder Yu felt that he drank too much yesterday, so he wasn't very sober, but he didn't think much about it. He went to bed and continued to sleep. Little Think Tank shook his head and looked at the wine bottle on the table. He thought, the two of them did drink a lot yesterday, but Senior Falcon seemed to be very sober before. Could it be that Senior Falcon's alcohol tolerance is so high? That's really amazing. Little Think Tank didn't think much about it. He closed the door for Elder Yu and went out of Elder Yu's room. When Elder Yu woke up again, it was already 2 hours later. This time, Elder Yu was very sober, but he still found that his memory was very bad, and his forgetfulness was very bad. When he just woke up, he even forgot why he set up a table full of banquets, let alone why he drank with whom. However, after all, the quick cicada voodoo had just been activated. It had just merged into Elder Yu's body, and the venom secreted was not enough to make all of Elder Yu's memories disappear. So after careful thinking, he finally remembered that the person who ate and drank with him yesterday was Dong Jun. However, where is Dong Jun now? Thinking of this, Elder Yu quickly called Little Think Tank, Little Think Tank. Fortunately, he still remembered Little Think Tank's name. Elder Yu, you are awake. Little Think Tank walked in and said respectfully. I'm awake. Right, I want to ask you something. Where is Dong Jun? Asked Elder Yu. Ah. Little Think Tank was taken aback and said, Elder Yu, didn't I just tell you before? Senior Falcon flew the helicopter to the Medicine Valley early in the morning. He said that you had a good idea with him, so he couldn't wait to go. Chapter 22:17. You just finished talking to me. Yes, I seem to have said it in the morning. Elder Yu was reminded by Little Think Tank and remembered the previous matter. Yes, I just finished talking to you. Little Think Tank nodded his head. He left in the early morning. That's not quite right. This is not in line with his style. Elder Yu frowned. He was not a fool. Dong Jun's approach was obviously a bit abnormal, which made him feel that things were not so simple. Why did Dong Jun have to go to the Medicine Valley in the early morning? Wasn't there a problem? Couldn't he wait until he was awake before going to the Medicine Valley? Moreover, even if he went to the Medicine Valley, he didn't need to go in the middle of the night, right? Not to mention that Yang Ming and others were sleeping in the middle of the night. Even if they were woken up by him, they would definitely doubt his purpose of going to the Medicine Valley in the middle of the night so impatiently. Even if Dong Jun said that he was anxious to help Yang Ming find a way to deal with Elder Yu, it was not quite reasonable. Using reverse thinking to reason, then if Dong Jun left in the early morning, wouldn't Elder Yu suspect him? Elder Yu himself felt that something was wrong. Yang Ming was not a fool. How could he not notice the problem? Thinking of this, Elder Yu suddenly frowned. Because he found that things did not seem to be simple. Little Think Tank, you immediately send someone to the Medicine Valley to check what Dong Jun is doing there. No need, we will go there personally. Elder Yu waved his hand and said. Okay. Little Think Tank nodded and also realized that something was wrong. He quickly ran out to prepare the helicopter. After Little Think Tank left, the more Elder Yu thought about it, the more he felt that there was a problem. Indeed, Dong Jun's approach was a bit abnormal. Moreover, he seemed to have a problem. He seemed to be very forgetful. He couldn't remember what had just happened or what had just happened yesterday. He could only vaguely remember it when someone reminded him. Intuition told Elder Yu that there was something wrong with his body, but he hadn't thought of the specific problem yet. He hoped that it was just because he drank too much and that there was no other situation. Now, Elder Yu only wanted to determine one question: where was Dong Jun? Was he in the Medicine Valley? If he was not in the Medicine Valley, then where was he? Thinking that something might have happened to Dong Jun, Elder Yu was burning with anxiety. After half an hour, Little Think Tank finally prepared the helicopter. Originally, the previous helicopter was easier to prepare, but it was driven away by Dong Jun. It was not easy to prepare, repair, and refuel a new helicopter, so half an hour was considered very fast. After finishing, Little Think Tank quickly ran back and reported the progress to Elder Yu. Elder Yu, the helicopter is ready. We can take off at any time. Helicopter. Why do you want a helicopter? Elder Yu forgot about the previous matter again. Elder Yu, didn't you say that we were going to the Medicine Valley? Shall we go and see Senior Falcon? The Little Think Tank said with some doubt. He also saw that there was something wrong with Elder Yu today, but he couldn't pinpoint exactly what was wrong. Oh. Right, we're going to the Medicine Valley. Let's hurry. After being reminded by Little Think Tank, Elder Yu also remembered that he had to go to the Medicine Valley previously. He quickly nodded and responded. All right, the helicopter has been arranged. Shall we depart now? Little Think Tank asked. Yes, let's go now. Elder Yu impatiently stood up, and then quickly walked outside with Little Think Tank. When they came to the tarmac of Elder Yu's Meow Village, a helicopter was ready and was about to take off. Elder Yu and Little Think Tank got on the helicopter, and then Little Think Tank quickly steered the helicopter and flew in the direction of the Medicine Valley. Elder Yu was extremely nervous along the way. On the way to the Medicine Valley, he kept urging Little Think Tank to speed up, and Little Think Tank also increased the speed of the helicopter to the extreme. However, a helicopter was a helicopter after all. It was impossible to be faster than a rocket. Even if Elder Yu urged them, they still took a long time to reach the Medicine Valley. However, when the helicopter just arrived above the Medicine Valley, Elder Yu felt that something was not quite right. This was an intuition. He couldn't tell what was wrong, but it was indeed not quite right. This Medicine Valley seemed to lack the vitality from before. Moreover, it was already morning. Why was there no one in the Medicine Valley? Generally, when the helicopter arrived, even if Yang Ming and the others did not all come out, someone would come out to take a look. However, this time, the helicopter was about to land, but still no one appeared. Elder Yu frowned and felt that something was not quite right, but even so, he still waited for the helicopter to land before getting off the helicopter. He was a cautious person. Although he was anxious, he would not take risks. Little Think Tank, why is there no one here? Elder Yu was now not only worried about the lack of people, but the key question was, where was the helicopter that Dong Jun drove? He finally understood why he felt that something was wrong before. It was because not only was there no one here, but there was also no helicopter. Such a big thing could be seen at a glance. It was impossible to not see it or hide it, and there was no need to hide it. Now, the helicopter was gone, so there was only one possibility. The helicopter was not in the Medicine Valley at this moment. If it was not in the Medicine Valley, where could it be? Thinking of this, Elder Yu's face suddenly became ugly. He felt that he seemed to have been fooled. He had been fooled by Dong Jun. This kid didn't seem to be so honest. Could it be that he really betrayed and was in cahoots with Yang Ming? Thinking of this possibility, Elder Yu felt that his face was trembling. He was too angry. I don't know. Should I go and take a look? Little Think Tank was also a little puzzled. Why is there no one in this Medicine Valley? And I don't know where Senior Falcon's helicopter is. Let's go and take a look. Elder Yu said immediately, no, let's go together. Let's go. With that said, Elder Yu and Little Think Tank walked quickly in the direction of the townhouses. However, when they were about to reach the townhouses, their hearts suddenly sank because the doors of the townhouses where Yang Ming lived were not even closed. See if there is anyone inside. Elder Yu said anxiously. Chapter 22:18. After Little Think Tank listened to Elder Yu's words, he quickly ran into the townhouse. Then, he looked at the situation inside, but he found that there was no one inside. His face suddenly turned pale. Elder Yu, there is no one here. What? No one. Elder Yu's face suddenly turned black. He quickly walked to the front of a townhouse and looked at the situation inside. The expression on his face was even worse. Because, it was obvious that they left in a hurry. They didn't even fold the quilt. Their clothes were also left here, but there was no one. Elder Yu knew that this was definitely not the people in this house who went to work. Because if they went to work, it was impossible not to fold the quilt, and the door would not be so wide open. Although there were only a few of them here, it was impossible for there to be a thief, so they would not lock the door. However, the door should at least be closed. This was a matter of etiquette. However, Elder Yu still did not give up. He frowned and said, let's go. Let's go to other places and see if they are in the workshop. Okay. Little Think Tank also realized that something was wrong, but he saw that Elder Yu's expression was not good, so he did not dare to say anything. He accompanied Elder Yu out of the townhouse villa, and the two of them walked to the workshop on the side. Inside the workshop, it was also very messy, and there was no one. What made Elder Yu most annoyed was that the petri dishes of the voodoo were taken away. Of course, when Lan Ling and the others left, they wouldn't take the other luggage, but they would take the petri dishes related to the Herculean voodoo and Vajra voodoo. These things couldn't be left to Elder Yu. Elder Yu originally hoped to find something in the workshop, but he found nothing. As for the other petri dishes and the like, Elder Yu had a lot of them himself, but they were all useless things. Fuck his mother. Elder Yu finally couldn't help but curse. He was really angry. These people actually colluded with Dong Jun to escape. Now, Elder Yu hadn't realized that he was voodoo by Dong Jun. Although he was a little forgetful and felt that there was something wrong with his body, he hadn't thought in that direction yet. He just thought that Dong Jun secretly cooperated with Yang Ming. After gaining his trust, Dong Jun tricked a helicopter and used the helicopter to take Yang Ming and others away from here. After all, Elder Yu didn't know that Yang Ming and the rest could leave the Medicine Valley at any time if they wanted to. There was no need for them to collude with Dong Jun to deceive him. Elder Yu, please calm down. It's all my fault. If only I didn't let Falcon leave. Since Falcon was a traitor, he naturally couldn't be called a senior anymore. It's not your fault. Even I was careless in making friends. Even I was deceived by him, let alone you. Elder Yu did not blame Little Think Tank. After all, Little Think Tank did not know that Dong Jun was a traitor. Even Elder Yu himself did not see it, let alone others. Sigh, then what should we do now? Little Think Tank asked. Forget it. Let's go back first. They probably left and won't come back for a while. They might have gone to Lan Miao village. We can't go to Lan Miao village to catch them, right? Elder Yu shook his head and said helplessly. Elder Yu, what I don't understand is that your current Vajra has already surpassed ordinary Vajra by a lot. It's even more powerful than ordinary Vajra. Why don't you attack Blue Miao village? Even if your Jin Gang Gu is not repaired by the original Jin Gang Gu and needs blood to be sacrificed, it won't affect us from attacking Lan Miao village, right? Little Think Tank asked, puzzled. There are some things that you don't understand. Elder Yu waved his hand and didn't say much. Although his Vajra voodoo was many times more powerful than the ordinary Vajra voodoo, and there were no other flaws except for the continuous use of blood sacrifice. In fact, this was not the case because Elder Yu knew a big secret. This was also the reason why he didn't dare to go to Lan Miao village easily. There was a sacrificial hall in Blue Miao village. There was a mysterious power inside that could resist Elder Yu's modified version of the Vajra voodoo. Elder Yu's Vajra voodoo was an evil witchcraft that had been banned for thousands of years. In order to gain strength, Elder Yu used a witchcraft sacrificial method to create a modified version of the Vajra voodoo. However, the Vajra voodoo in his body would unconsciously become restless when it encountered the mysterious power of Blue Miao village's sacrificial hall, as if it was going to devour him. This was also discovered by Elder Yu when he went to Lan Miao village many years ago, but he didn't tell anyone. This was his weakness, but as long as he didn't go to Lan Miao village, he wouldn't be in danger. Later on, Elder Yu looked up a lot of ancient books and information and finally found a reasonable solution. One was to eliminate Lan Hai because he had the inheritance of the sacrificial hole. All the village leaders of Lan Miao village had the inheritance of the sacrificial hole. As long as the village leader was eliminated, the mysterious power of the sacrificial hall would disappear, and it would no longer be a threat to Elder Yu. This was also the reason why Elder Yu had been looking for Lan Hai and wanted to eliminate him. Otherwise, although Lan Hai's Gu was powerful, he was on par with Elder Yu. Moreover, Elder Yu had the modified Jin Gang Gu, so it was easy for him to eliminate Lan Hai. However, Lan Hai was too cunning. He hid here and there, so Elder Yu couldn't find him. As long as he didn't eliminate him, he couldn't attack Lan Miao village. This was also the reason why Elder Yu delayed and didn't attack Lan Miao village. What he said to others about the time not being right was actually just an excuse. The most important thing was that he was afraid of that mysterious power. However, this was his ultimate secret. He couldn't say it to anyone, including the people around him and his subordinates. He couldn't even say it to his closest subordinate, Little Think Tank. This was because this was related to his biggest secret, and he couldn't let anyone know about it. If Lan Miao village knew about this, they would become fearless because they weren't worried that Elder Yu would attack Lan Miao village, so they would focus on researching other things. In that case, Elder Yu wouldn't be able to delay Lan Miao village in terms of defense. Another solution was actually very simple. That was to consume a complete version of the Jin Gang Gu and use the complete version of the Jin Gang Gu to mix with this modified version of the Jin Gang Gu. After mixing, not only would the power of the modified version of the Jin Gang Gu be retained, but it would also prevent the modified version of the Jin Gang Gu from being refined with blood. It would become a pure Jin Gang Gu. This way, they wouldn't be afraid of the mysterious power of Lan Miao village. Chapter 22:19. Therefore, Elder Yu repeatedly forgave Yang Ming and the others after their repeated provocations and didn't do anything to them. Otherwise, with Elder Yu's temper, even if Yang Ming also took the Jin Gang Gu and couldn't do anything to him, he could still kill a few people around Yang Ming as a warning to others. At the very least, he could kill Xia Shui and Lan Ling first. But Elder Yu didn't dare to do so. It was better to be safe than sorry. This threat might backfire on Yang Ming and kill the people around Yang Ming. If Yang Ming simply quit, then he could forget about refining the Jin Gang Gu. Elder Yu had always been very depressed about this. He could only coax people like Yang Ming and use other methods to destroy their confidence and make them willingly refine Gu for him. But he couldn't force them too much as he was afraid that things would go in the opposite direction when pushed to the extreme. But in the end, he still didn't get the complete version of the Jean Gang goo. Without the complete version of the Jean Gang goo, he couldn't fuse with his modified version of the Jean Gang goo. So, looking at the empty medicinal valley, he was very unwilling. Elder Yu stared blankly at everything in the medicinal valley, his expression uncertain. After a while, the little think tank saw that Elder Yu didn't speak and was immediately puzzled. He probed, "Elder Yu, what should we do now?" "Ah." Elder Yu was stunned and turned to look at the little think tank, saying, "What do you mean, what should we do? What are you talking about?" "Ah." The little think tank was also stunned. "Elder Yu," I said, "this place is empty, what should we do next?" "What do you mean this place is empty?" Why am I here?" After Elder Yu said this, he looked at his surroundings in surprise. "Isn't this the medicinal valley?" "Little think tank, why are we in the medicinal valley?" "Elder Yu, what's wrong with you?" Little think tank looked at Elder Yu and felt a little scared. "Elder Yu, we are in the medicine valley. Didn't you ask me to bring you here to see if Dong Jun and the rest are in the medicine valley?" "Oh right, Dong Jun, I remember now." After Elder Yu was reminded by Little Think Tank, he suddenly remembered the previous matter. He slapped his thigh and scolded, "This Dong Jun is too dishonest. He actually lied to me and stole my helicopter. Let's go back first. They must have gone to Blue Meow Village." "Okay." Little Think Tank nodded and walked to the helicopter with Elder Yu. After the two people boarded the helicopter, they flew in the direction of Elder Yu's Hmong village again. However, when the helicopter flew to the Hmong village and Elder Yu got off the helicopter, tragedy happened again. "Little Think Tank, what are we doing? Why are you taking a helicopter? We just came back from the Medicine Valley." Little Think Tank replied. "Medicine Valley? What are we going to do in the Medicine Valley?" Elder Yu frowned. "Are we going to see Yongming?" No, it's like this." Little Tactician suddenly broke into a sweat. He had no choice but to tell Elder Yu what happened before. It was Dong Jun who drove the helicopter to the Medicine Valley, then yes, it's like this. I remember now. Elder Yu listened to Little Think Tank's explanation and nodded suddenly. He scolded, "Dong Jun, this bastard, Elder Yu, there is something that I don't know if I should say." Little Think Tank smiled bitterly and asked carefully. "What is it? You are my Little Think Tank. What can't you say to me? Hurry up and say it." Elder Yu said. "Yes." Little Think Tank nodded and asked carefully, "Elder Yu, is there something wrong with your memory?" "My memory?" After Elder Yu was slightly taken aback, he also frowned. Before this, he suspected that there was something wrong with his memory. How could he be so forgetful? Many things were forgotten in the blink of an eye. The reason why Elder Yu didn't continue to study his memory problem was that he forgot to continue to study. "Yeah, Elder Yu, why do I feel that your memory seems to be very bad?" Little Think Tank said. "Damn, it must be Dong Jun who did something to me." Elder Yu slapped his thigh and said, "It must be like this. This guy harmed me, Elder Yu, you said that your memory problem was caused by Dong Jun." Little Think Tank was shocked and asked quickly. "I don't know for the time being, but it should be." Elder Yu nodded hurriedly and said, "I have to retreat for a few days to check the condition of my body and see if there is a problem. Don't disturb me for anything, yes?" Elder Yu. Little Think Tank nodded. He still didn't know what was wrong with Elder Yu. If he knew that Elder Yu was poisoned with the quick cicada voodoo and there was no cure, what would he think? However, at this moment, Little Think Tank had an almost blind confidence in Elder Yu. In his opinion, Elder Yu could definitely easily solve the problem. Even if he was poisoned, Elder Yu could detoxify the poison. This was because Elder Yu was a goo expert. Moreover, he was also a poison expert. He was very proficient in detoxification. Therefore, Elder Yu retreated without warning. The entire Miao village of Elder Yu didn't know that there was actually a problem with Elder Yu. Everyone still continued with their own things in an orderly manner. Lan Miao village. Yang Ming, Lan Ling, Xia Shui, Feng Tianlong, Xiao Susu, Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, Chen Xiaojing, Lu Yezi, Yi, and Dong Jun appeared in the meeting room of Lan Miao village after a period of rest. You are all awake. That's great. Now, you can tell me in detail about your experience during this period. Grandma Lan was very curious about everyone's experience during this period. She wanted to ask before this. Okay, let me tell you. Lan Ling volunteered and began to talk about everything that happened during this period in the Medicine Valley, including how everyone came up with a solution to deal with Elder Yu together, studied the Vigor Voodoo and Jin Gang Voodoo together, and even the wedding ceremony. Everything was told to Grandma Lan without missing a single detail. I didn't expect that so many things would happen during this period of time. It wasn't easy for you to research these two types of venomous insects. However, I didn't expect that you would succeed in the end. Grandma Lan nodded with a smile. Ling Ling, I really admire you. Since you left, I have been studying the Vigor Voodoo, but I haven't made any progress. The one who spoke was a handsome young man. He was the person that Yang Ming saw at the airport. After seeing who this person was, Yang Ming was suddenly embarrassed. Chapter 22-20. This person was the brother Rong who was misunderstood by Yang Ming to have a relationship with Lan Ling and infected her with AIDS. Haha, of course. Look at who helped me. Yang Ming is very powerful. Brother Rong, this time, in terms of voodoo, you have to admit defeat, right? Lan Ling said proudly, but after she finished speaking, she looked at Yang Ming with a mischievous look. Yeah, this time I really admit defeat. The pretty boy called Brother Rong nodded and said. Yang Ming saw this pretty boy and suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Especially Lan Ling's glance, it made Yang Ming feel a little embarrassed. From Lan Ling's text message, Yang Ming thought that this pretty boy had some relationship with Lan Ling. Obviously, Lan Ling's glance was also a little teasing to Yang Ming. Brother Rong, have you recovered from your illness? Asked Lan Ling, that AIDS. Oh, I gave myself another voodoo and it has been neutralized. Said the pretty boy. Ugh, you can actually cure AIDS. Can you get some medical award? Yang Ming opened his eyes wide. He didn't expect the pretty boy to be so powerful. How is this a cure? It's just fighting poison with poison. Let's not talk about how difficult it is to cultivate that kind of voodoo. Even if it is cultivated, it is risky to give this voodoo to ordinary people. If I give it to myself, I can make an adjustment plan according to the body's adverse reactions at any time. The pretty boy smiled bitterly. It turns out to be like this. Yang Ming nodded and knew that this method couldn't be implemented. Just like Elder Yu's Vajra voodoo, it couldn't be used on a large scale because the number of catalytic enzymes was limited. Grandma, what should we do now? Asked Lan Ling. It's not clear yet. Our informant in Elder Yu's Miao village hasn't sent any information yet. Grandma Lan said, our informant in Elder Yu's Miao village is just an ordinary person. He can't access too many core secrets, so he can only make judgments based on the situation. So, let's wait and see. I see. Okay, then let's stay in Lan Miao village first. Lan Ling nodded and said. Let's stay first. Moreover, although Elder Yu's quick cicada voodoo has matured, it still needs a few days to fully activate. At most, he has a bad memory, but he won't forget the deeper memories. So, let's wait a few days. When his quick cicada voodoo fully activates, then we'll deal with him," said Grandma Lawn. Everyone nodded their heads. After the meeting, they stayed in Lawn Meow Village with peace of mind. Everyone was already used to living in the Medicine Valley. Apart from the fact that Blue Meow Village was not located in the valley, the climate and environment were similar to the Medicine Valley. Therefore, everyone was used to it. Moreover, since they stayed, the pretty boy called Brother Roan began to pester Yang Ming, Lu Tianqi, Lin Dongfang, and the others to ask about voodoo. These people had been in the Medicine Valley for so long. Their research and refinement of voodoo was even better than the pretty boy. So, how could the pretty boy let go of this good opportunity to learn? "Brother Yang, this Herculean voodoo can actually use spring water and the secretion of the quick cicada voodoo as a nutrient. It's really strange. How did you find out? So powerful," the pretty boy said with admiration for Yang Ming. "Pfft. Where did you get this seniority from? You call me brother and Lon Ling sister. What kind of logic is that?" said Yang Ming as he glared at him. "Ha! Aren't we talking about our own?" said the pretty boy. "Brother Yang, let's not talk about this first. Let's continue to discuss the voodoo, okay?" Yang Ming was dumbfounded. Lon Ling couldn't help but laugh too. In the evening, Grandma Lon received a message from Elder Yu's Meow Village. Elder Yu was actually in close cultivation. At present, all the affairs of Elder Yu's Meow Village were handled by Elder Yu's confidant, the little think tank. Of course, no one knew why Elder Yu was in close cultivation. Even the people of Elder Yu's Meow Village didn't know. Probably only the little think tank knew, but the little think tank didn't say anything, so no one else could get the news. Before Lon Meow Village had further news, they could only choose to wait for the latest news from Elder Yu's Meow Village. Of course, it had been almost a day since they arrived at Lon Meow Village. Yang Ming had not completely dealt with Elder Yu, so he did not report the situation to Xia Bingbao of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He had to wait until Elder Yu was completely dealt with before reporting. It should be soon, so a few more days wouldn't make a difference. On the other hand, Lu Yezi was not in a hurry to report to Sun Sikong and Imo Kongwen. He believed that they should have monitored the situation here through the jade pendant and glasses. Even without these two things, they could judge that everyone was fine from what happened in the Medicine Valley. Time quickly passed, and 3 days passed. In Elder Yu's Meow Village, Elder Yu had been in close cultivation for 3 days, but there was still no news. The little think tank suddenly became a little anxious. Even if Elder Yu was in close cultivation, it was impossible for him to not contact the outside world at all. The little think tank could contact Elder Yu in 2 days at most, but this time, there was no news from Elder Yu for 3 days. The little think tank was really anxious. He decided that if there was no news from Elder Yu tomorrow, and if Elder Yu didn't contact him, he had to go to the place where Elder Yu was in close cultivation to take a look. He had to check if there was any problem with Elder Yu. The little think tank's prediction was not wrong. There was indeed a problem with Elder Yu. In the secret room, Elder Yu had already found the problem in his body. After careful inspection and searching, he finally found an extra thing in his body, which was the quick cicada goo. Although Elder Yu was not very familiar with the quick cicada goo, he personally put this thing in Lin Dongfang's body, so after Elder Yu carefully checked his body several times, he still found the trace of this quick cicada goo. Of course, he didn't know that this was the quick cicada goo at first, but after some speculation, he could roughly judge that the goo in him was the quick cicada goo after connecting it with his amnesia and forgetfulness, although Elder Yu didn't know how Lin Dongfang removed the quick cicada voodoo and took it out. 90% of the voodoo in his body was undoubtedly the quick cicada voodoo. This kind of independent voodoo was rare. Considering Dong Jun's previous situation, this voodoo should be given to him by Dong Jun. Elder Yu was furious when he thought of the cause and effect of this matter. He really didn't expect that the thing that he used to deal with others would be used on him in the end. Oh. Chapter 22-21. In the past few days, Elder Yu's memory was rapidly deteriorating. He often forgot what he was thinking about before. He had to think for a long time before he could remember what he was thinking about before. So, as a last resort, Elder Yu could only record his thoughts on paper. When he couldn't remember, he could take a look at it. Only then could he remember what happened before. However, Elder Yu didn't hate Dong Jun the most, but Yang Ming. In his opinion, Dong Jun's rebellion should be entirely caused by Yang Ming. He was instigated by Yang Ming. When Dong Jun first came here, he shouldn't have rebelled. He must have rebelled after going to the Medicine Valley because Yang Ming said something. Therefore, Elder Yu hated Yang Ming very much. He felt that all of this was caused by Yang Ming. All along, Elder Yu didn't really want to kill Yang Ming. Even if he threatened him, he didn't really want to kill him because he had to let Yang Ming help him refine voodoo. Even if he wanted to kill Yang Ming, he had to wait for Yang Ming to successfully refine the voodoo before doing it. But now, Elder Yu had an unprecedented murderous intent in his heart. He had to let Yang Ming die to vent the hatred in his heart. As the saying goes, even if you die, you have to drag someone down with you. Therefore, after he found that his memory had become amnesiac, he also knew that there was no cure for it. He was very clear about the quick cicada voodoo. If he could cure it in the beginning, he would have already cured Lin Dongfang. Why wait until now? So this time, he simply didn't even study it. After knowing that he was afflicted with the quick cicada voodoo, he knew that he had no hope. It was impossible for him to take out the voodoo worm. His Jin Gang voodoo had reached the level of not being damaged at all. There was no possibility of taking out the quick cicada voodoo. Yang Ming, Yang Ming, I really didn't expect that I, Elder Yu, who has been wise all my life, would be defeated by you in the end. You, kid, are really patient. Elder Yu sighed helplessly. A loss was a loss. Elder Yu didn't have a temper that refused to admit defeat. Many things were like this. Victory and defeat could be decided in an instant. One moment, one still had the advantage, but the next moment, one might be defeated. The only thing that Elder Yu regretted was that he should have killed Yang Ming earlier. This time, although he was defeated, there was no chance to make a comeback. He was afflicted with the quick cicada voodoo, and there was no cure. However, Elder Yu was a little unwilling. He wanted Yang Ming to die too. Therefore, in these few days, he wrote his hatred on Yang Ming's name. He wrote Yang Ming on a piece of paper. He always reminded himself that his enemy was Yang Ming. He couldn't forget. If there was a chance, he must drag Yang Ming down with him. Since he couldn't find a way to deal with the quick cicada voodoo, Elder Yu simply began to think of a way to kill Yang Ming. He had to find a way to harm Yang Ming before he completely lost his memory. Otherwise, he would forget everything in the end, and he would be a fool. He wouldn't be able to harm Yang Ming even if he wanted to. During the time of the retreat, what Elder Yu did every day was to recite Yang Ming's name several times every once in a while so that he could remember this big enemy. Then, he began to plan on how to kill Yang Ming on the paper. On the fourth day, the little think tank couldn't help it. He came to the place where Elder Yu was in retreat, knocked on the door, and then said carefully, "Elder Yu, are you there? How is it? Who is it? Come in." Elder Yu still vaguely remembered that this was his territory, so he wasn't afraid. It was just that the voice of the person who spoke at the door was a little familiar, but Elder Yu didn't quite remember who it was. "Elder Yu, you're fine. That's great." The little think tank carefully pushed the door and walked in, then said, "I thought something happened when you didn't say anything for so many days. You are Elder Yu frowned and looked at the familiar stranger in front of him, but he couldn't remember who he was. I'm the little think tank. The little think tank was stunned and said, Elder Yu, you don't recognize me? Little think tank. Little think tank. Elder Yu repeated this name in his mouth, but after repeating it a few times, he frowned again. It seemed that he still couldn't remember who the little think tank in front of him was. Elder Yu, you, how did you forget everything? The little think tank was even more horrified. I'm the little think tank, your subordinate. Oh. I seem to have a little impression. You're the little think tank, my subordinate. Elder Yu nodded and looked like he remembered. In fact, he didn't remember anything. In these 2 days, the only thing he still remembered in his mind was that Yang Ming was his enemy, and he wanted to deal with Yang Ming. As for other things, he had already forgotten them completely. That's great. Elder Yu, it's good that you remember me. You've been in retreat for so long. What happened? Do you have any orders for me to do? The little think tank said quickly. How's the situation on Yang Ming's side? Elder Yu didn't think about anything else now. He only thought about how to kill Yang Ming. Yang Ming. The little think tank was slightly stunned. He thought, Elder Yu's memory isn't good. He actually still remembers Yang Ming. However, he didn't dare to ask more and quickly said, according to our informant in Lan Miao village, Yang Ming and Dong Jun really went to Lan Miao village. They are now living in Lan Miao village, but they had a few meetings with Madame Lan, Elder Zhua, and the deputy chief of Lan Miao village. However, we don't know the specific content of the meetings because our people can't infiltrate the high level. Oh, I got it. Elder Yu nodded and picked up a few pieces of paper beside him. He looked at them for a long time before he figured out who Lan Miao village, Madame Lan, Elder Zhua, and the deputy chief were. Otherwise, he would have already forgotten. Elder Yu, then now? The little think tank asked hesitantly. He didn't know what to do next. Nothing. You go out first. I will continue to retreat. Elder Yu nodded and said, now you go out and take charge of the affairs of the Miao village. Yes. The little think tank saw that Elder Yu didn't seem to want to say anything more, so he could only nod. He turned around and left Elder Yu's room. The reason why Elder Yu did this was that he didn't want his Miao village to be in chaos. Once the news of Elder Yu losing his memory and becoming an idiot spread, his Miao village would definitely be in chaos. At that time, these people would definitely disperse and seek refuge in other Miao villages. They would no longer wait for death here. Elder Yu must think of a way to retaliate against Yang Ming before this happened. Although the little think tank was very confused, he still went out to take charge of the affairs of the Miao village according to Elder Yu's instructions. Chapter 22. As for Elder Yu, he naturally continued his closed-door cultivation in the room to formulate a plan to deal with Yang Ming. After careful consideration, he really found a plan to deal with Yang Ming. It was a perfect plan in his opinion. Now, he just had to wait for Yang Ming to take the bait. Blue Miao village. They received news that Elder Yu was still in closed-door cultivation. Elder Yu's first subordinate, Little Tactician, was managing the village's affairs. This news made the people of Blue Miao village very confused. Why hadn't Elder Yu's quick cicada goo taken effect yet? Or had it already taken effect, but Little Tactician kept it under wraps? In Blue Miao village's meeting hall, a high-level meeting was held again. Elder Zhua, what do you think about this? Grandma Lan looked at Elder Zhua. Elder Zhua was a very intelligent elder in Miao village. Together with the former Elder Yu, they were the two right-hand men of Blue Miao village's chief. Madame Lan, this subordinate feels that there must be a huge secret behind this matter. Elder Zhua said, Perhaps Elder Yu has become an idiot, but Little Tactician is trying his best to hide it. Or Little Tactician wants to control Elder Yu's current Meow Village. That's right. Grandma Lan nodded. Actually, I think so too. However, everything is still a suspicion now. There's no way to prove it. If Elder Yu has really become an idiot, then Little Tactician and the others are nothing to be afraid of. These people don't have powerful goo masters. Our Blue Meow Village can easily deal with them. Yes, but I'm afraid that Elder Yu is fine. Or he has found a way to get rid of the goo and deliberately went into closed-door cultivation to lure us in. The deputy chief said, so, if we want to be safe, then we can wait. There's no need to rush. We've waited for so long. There's no need to rush. Grandma Lan nodded and said, let's continue to ask for more information. Our people have already tried their best to inquire, but the little think tank's mouth is very tight. It seems that no one has revealed Elder Yu's situation, including Elder Yu's other confidants. They don't know about Elder Yu's situation. Elders was said, otherwise, there is no secret in the world. Every confidant will have some other confidants. There will always be someone who will leak it out, but now there is no news at all. So what the deputy chief said makes sense. Elder Yu might have done it on purpose, but it's also possible that the little think tank deliberately blocked the news. Grandma Lan nodded and turned to look at Lan Ling and Yang Ming. Ling Ling, Yang Ming, are you used to living here? Of course I'm used to it. Yang Ming knew that Grandma Lan was asking him this question. After all, Lan Ling had lived here since she was young. How could she not be used to it? Hence, he smiled and said, the environment here is similar to the Medicine Valley. I'm already used to it. That's great. Grandma Lan said, we'll rest for a few more days. Once we have accurate information, we'll launch a general attack on Elder Yu's Meow Village. Although the little think tank had tried his best to block the news about Elder Yu's Hmong village, he could not hide it from Elder Yu's subordinates even if he could hide it from the ordinary people in the village. Little think tank, what do you mean by this? Are you hiding Elder Yu and want to take the position yourself? The one who spoke was another Elder Yu subordinate, named He Gao. Yeah, do you want to hold the emperor and order the vassals? Another Elder Yu's confidant, Kun Cun, also asked. This. The little think tank could only smile bitterly. It's not that I don't want to tell you, but I really have no other choice. No other choice. What's that? He Gao asked with a sneer. Yeah, now you tell us obediently, where is Elder Yu? Kun Cun also asked. This. The little think tank didn't know what to say, but when he saw the two people's aggressive gazes, the little think tank could only say, well, in that case, I'll tell you, but you must not tell anyone else. Of course we won't, you tell us. He Gao said. Actually, it's like this. Little think tank started from the night Elder Yu drank with Dong Jun, until Elder Yu was tricked by Dong Jun. Then, the two of them chased after Dong Jun to the Medicine Valley, only to find that the Medicine Valley was already empty. After returning, Elder Yu's memory seemed to have problems. The little think tank did not hide these things. After all, the two people in front of him were better than him in terms of voodoo, and he was just a think tank, so the little think tank also told the truth. What? It's actually like this. Such a big thing happened? He Gao said with a horrified expression after listening, why didn't you say so earlier? Yeah, such a big thing, why didn't you say so earlier? Let's hurry to see Elder Yu. Kun Cun also said anxiously, you take us there quickly. But Elder Yu doesn't allow others to disturb him. The little think tank said with a wry smile, and he told me before not to tell others casually. Then we are also worried. Said He Gao. Yeah, if Elder Yu wants to blame us, the two of us will shoulder it. Just say that we forced you to come. Kun Cun also said. This, okay. The little think tank had no choice but to nod. He took Heigao and Kun Cun together and rushed to the place where Elder Yu was in retreat. When they arrived, the little think tank did not dare to knock on the door directly, but pointed to a door and said, "Okay, here it is. You guys knock on the door." Heigao and Kun Cun nodded, then knocked on the door and waited for the answer inside. But after waiting for a long time, there was a vigilant voice inside. "Who is it?" These people were the confidants of Elder Yu, so they could naturally distinguish that this voice was Elder Yu's voice. "Elder Yu, it's me, Heigao, Kun Cun, and the little think tank." Heigao said quickly and respectfully. "What?" Elder Yu's voice was somewhat inexplicable. Apparently, he didn't know the people who came. "Let's go in. Elder Yu is like this. When he sees us, he will remember." The little think tank smiled wryly. "Okay, then let's go in." Heigao also nodded, then pushed the door and walked into the room with Kun Cun. Elder Yu looked at the three people who came in, and his eyes were full of vigilance. He asked, "Which one of you is Yangming?" "This." The little think tank smiled bitterly. "Elder Yu, we are your subordinates. We are not Yangming." "Elder Yu? Who is Elder Yu? Are you calling me?" Elder Yu looked at the little think tank suspiciously and asked. "Ugh, yes, you are Elder Yu." The little think tank nodded and said, "And I am the little think tank." "Little think tank, have you forgotten?" Chapter 22-23. Elder Yu. Little think tank. Elder Yu picked up a stack of paper in front of him and looked at it. After looking at it for a while, he finally nodded. "I remember. I am Elder Yu." "Yes, you are little think tank." "Elder Yu, you finally remember." Little think tank was suddenly happy and said quickly. "Yes, I remember, but who are the other two?" Elder Yu looked at the people around little think tank and asked. "These two are also your men. This is Heigao, and this is Kun Cun. They are both your men." Little think tank introduced. "Oh. Heigao. Kun Cun." Elder Yu continued to look at the stack of paper in his hand, looking for the names of these two people. His memory had basically been completely lost, but he had not lost his language ability and logical thinking. He had not forgotten how to write the words, but he had almost forgotten the people and things in his memory. "Yes, Elder Yu, we are Heigao and Kun Cun." The two quickly nodded and said. "Found it. Heigao, Kun Cun, I know." Elder Yu finally found the names of the two people, and then nodded to them. "Well, there is nothing else. You all can go out. By the way, help me inquire about Yang Ming's news." "This, okay." Heigao and Kun Cun also smiled bitterly and left the room with little think tank. "Now you see it, right?" After little think tank left the room, he sighed and said, "Elder Yu seems to be getting more and more serious. Previously, he could remember who I was, but today, it seems that he only knows who the three of us are through the names written on the paper. Yeah, what happened to Elder Yu? It can't go on like this, right?" Heigao nodded and said. "Although I don't know what happened to Elder Yu, I am afraid that he was harmed by Dong Jun. Now that I think about it, there are many suspicious points." Little think tank smiled bitterly. Dong Jun's departure in the middle of the night was obviously abnormal. It was against common sense, but at that time, Elder Yu and I both thought that Dong Jun was on our side. It was not until we went to the Medicine Valley that we found out that he was gone. Well, isn't it possible that Yang Ming and the others secretly subdued Dong Jun and stole the helicopter? Heigao hypothesized. Putting aside the fact that there were no signs of a fight at the Medicine Valley, even if they did steal the plane, if they were not in cahoots with Dong Jun, why would they bring Dong Jun along? Wouldn't it be better to just leave it in the Medicine Valley? The little think tank smiled bitterly and said, moreover, Elder Yu's sudden forgetfulness also proves this point. He must have been under some kind of trick. So that's how it is. Little tactician, you're so meticulous. We've neglected these details. Black Dot nodded. It doesn't matter. You guys weren't there in person, so naturally you don't know much about this. The little think tank wasn't arrogant. Oh. Instead, he said, most importantly, our informants in Blue Meow Village sent us news that Yang Ming and the rest appeared in Blue Meow Village. Dong Jun was there too. Therefore, Yang Ming must have instigated Dong Jun to defect. Then, now that something like this has happened, what should we do? Black Dot asked worriedly, if Elder Yu is really done for, won't we be done for too? Who knows? The little think tank spread his hands helplessly. The key problem is that Elder Yu didn't give us any chance to talk at all. You saw it too. We were chased out by Elder Yu as soon as we arrived. We didn't even have a chance to discuss it. That's true. Sigh, how about this? Let's go back and think about it. We'll meet again at night and specifically discuss the future of our Right Meow Village. Kun Cun was a more ambitious person. Now that Elder Yu was on the verge of collapse, he naturally wanted to replace Elder Yu to control the Right Meow Village. However, the little think tank and Black Dot were two veteran figures. Therefore, in order to control the Right Meow Village, he had to deal with these two people first. In the Right Meow Village, there were Kun Cun's people, but there were also little think tank and Black Dot's people. If he couldn't deal with them, the Right Meow Village would definitely be divided and even become a tripartite situation. If these people couldn't be united, then the final result would be that the other Meow Village would attack and take advantage of them. Therefore, after thinking about it, Kun Cun couldn't think of a way to completely deal with Black Dot and the little think tank. The only thing he could think of was that the three of them would jointly control the Right Meow Village. However, the little think tank was appointed by Elder Yu to take charge of the affairs. Then, Kun Cun's advantage would be much smaller. What if the little think tank didn't agree? Thinking of this, Kun Cun was ready to look for Black Dot to study and see what Black Dot wanted. Therefore, Kun Cun came to Black Dot's residence. Although Black Dot wasn't very ambitious, the temptation of having the opportunity to become one of the people who really had the final say in the Right Meow Village was still very strong. Therefore, when Kun Cun revealed his idea to Black Dot fell silent. To be honest, to be able to control the Right Meow Village and become one of the three giants of the Right Meow Village, the life they enjoyed would definitely be completely different compared to now. No matter what, they were Elder Yu's subordinates now. Their daily life and food couldn't be too luxurious. After all, Elder Yu was watching over them. However, if they became the people who had the final say in the Right Meow Village, then everything would be different. After pondering for a while, Black Dot nodded and agreed with Kun Cun's idea. He said, "All right, let's talk to Little Think Tank together and force him to hand over his power. The three of us will jointly control the Right Meow Village." I knew that Brother Black Dot isn't a pedantic person. Currently, Elder Yu can only be considered as a useless person. If we don't take the opportunity to control the Right Meow Village now, when should we? Kun Cun laughed with satisfaction. Since the two of them had reached a consensus, they naturally didn't waste any more time. They directly went to Little Think Tank's residence and prepared to blackmail him. Little Think Tank was checking the news from Blue Meow Village. In terms of loyalty, Little Think Tank was actually the most loyal one among Elder Yu's subordinates. Although he was smart, he didn't have much ambition because his voodoo skills were too weak. Therefore, he was very clear about his own capabilities and didn't have the strength to be ambitious. There was still no useful news from Blue Meow Village. Yang Ming and the rest seemed to have settled down in Blue Meow Village. It didn't seem like there was anything special. Other than holding a few meetings in the Meow Village, Yang Ming spent most of his time studying voodoo skills with the others. He had no intention of dealing with the right Meow Village at all. This made Little Think Tank a little confused. Chapter 22-24. If Elder Yu was really killed by Dong Jun, would they take this opportunity to attack the right Meow Village? Just as Little Think Tank was puzzled, his door was pushed open. Little Think Tank raised his head and saw that it was He Gao and Kun Cun who had just parted with each other. Thus, he asked curiously, "Is there a reason why you two came at this time?" "Hee, Brother Think Tank, the two of us are here to discuss the future of the right Meow Village with you." Kun Cun smiled faintly and said, "The future of the right Meow Village? What do you mean?" Little Think Tank frowned slightly. He had a bad feeling about this. Elder Yu is on the verge of death. Everyone has seen it. He is obviously no different from an idiot now. Therefore, our right Meow Village must come up with a management plan in the future. Kun Cun said. "You? What do you mean? Are you trying to usurp the position?" Little Think Tank was shocked and asked. Brother Think Tank, that's a little harsh." He Gao waved his hand and said, "Brother Kun Cun, what you mean is very simple. Elder, you can't manage the Meow Village now. Therefore, we must discuss what to do in the future for the sake of the right Meow Village's future. We're not trying to usurp the position." "That's right. The leader of the right Meow Village will always be Elder Yu. Even if he lost his memory and became like this, we still respect him as the leader." Kun Cun nodded and said, "But he can't manage the right Meow Village now." "That's a fact, right?" "That's true, but..." Little Think Tank was still a little hesitant. It was undeniable that He Gao and Kun Cun were right. Moreover, they were thinking about the right Meow Village. Elder Yu's current situation was indeed not suitable to manage the right Meow Village anymore. "Brother Think Tank, Brother He Gao and I have discussed. The three of us will be the three elders of the right Meow Village. In the future, we'll be the left, middle, and right elders of the right Meow Village. All the matters of the Blue Meow Village must be discussed and decided by the three of us." Kun Cun continued, "This is also for the sake of fairness. We can't let one party dominate and monopolize the power. Everything should be discussed together." Little Think Tank saw how He Gao and Kun Cun were echoing each other. He knew that they had already made up their minds to become the actual controller of the right Meow Village. If he didn't agree, the two of them would definitely work together to make him a figurehead. Therefore, under the current situation, he had to agree. Moreover, the two of them were not wrong. It was impossible for Elder Yu to manage the right Meow Village if this continued. Moreover, his prestige was obviously not enough to control the entire right Meow Village. Therefore, the conditions that the two of them proposed were not too much. The Little Think Tank knew very well that this would happen sooner or later if this continued. It was just that it was brought forward now. Moreover, it was discussed by everyone. It was much better than one of them suddenly wanting to bypass the other two and control the entire right Meow Village. Therefore, after weighing the pros and cons, the Little Think Tank could only nod and say, "What you guys said makes sense. However, Elder Yu is the most powerful person in our right Meow Village. Although the three of us can handle the affairs of the Meow Village as the left, middle, and right elders, what if Blue Meow Village attacks us? But, if we don't become the left, middle, and right elders to handle the affairs of the Meow Village. I'm afraid that the situation will be even worse when Blue Meow Village attacks us, right? Kun Cun said. Moreover, Blue Meow Village hasn't done anything for so long. I guess that Yang Ming is scared. Now that he has escaped, he won't come back so easily. Kun Cun had to admit that the little think tank had considered this for a long time. However, he still hoped that Blue Meow Village would not attack them. After all, it had been so long, and nothing happened to Blue Meow Village. How could they be so unlucky to attack when the three of them were in charge? We won't reveal Elder Yu's situation. That way, Blue Meow Village won't know the exact situation. There shouldn't be a problem, right? He Gao said. Alright, that's the only way. The little think tank nodded in agreement. In reality, he was most worried about Yang Ming and Blue Meow Village. As for the power of Right Meow Village, it was not that important. After all, if Yang Ming led Blue Meow Village to attack them, everything would be meaningless. Haha, that's great. We'll hold a meeting of all Meow Village members tonight and announce this news. Kun Cun said happily. He enjoyed the promotion of power very much. He was basically one of the people who had the final say in Right Meow Village now. At night, the little think tank, Kun Cun, and He Gao announced the news under the shocked gazes and expressions of the Right Meow Village members. They announced to those people that Elder Yu was cultivating in seclusion, so they were promoted to the three left, middle, and right elders. They would be in charge of all the affairs of Right Meow Village temporarily. Although many people expressed their doubts as to why Elder Yu did not come for such an important matter, the three of them had extraordinary statuses in the Right Meow Village. They were all second only to one person. Especially when the three of them announced the news together, the others had no choice but to believe it. Even if they did not believe it, there was nothing they could do. After all, apart from Elder Yu, the three of them had the final say in Right Meow Village. Not long after Right Meow Village held a meeting of all Meow Village members, Blue Meow Village also received the news. Therefore, Blue Meow Village also held an emergency meeting in the meeting hall. Grandma Lan, Elder Zhua, Deputy Chief, Yang Ming, and Lan Ling all attended the meeting. However, Feng Tianlong, Lu Yezi, and the rest did not attend because they did not know much about Blue Meow Village and Right Meow Village. It was useless for them to attend. They would rather accompany the pretty boy to refine the goo poison. Elder Zhua, what do you think about this? Grandma Lan told everyone about the news from Right Meow Village, then asked Elder Zhua. Initially, the left and right elders in Meow Village were like strategists. In the past, the chief would ask for the left and right elders' opinions after he finished talking about something. Then, he would express his final opinion together with the deputy chief. After that, everyone would discuss it together. However, Elder Zhuo was the only one left in Blue Meow Village. Therefore, according to the usual practice, Grandma Lan could only ask Elder Zhuo. Madam Lan, I think there's something fishy about this. Elder Zhuo said, Elder Yu was poisoned by the quick cicada goo and is cultivating in seclusion. It should be a low-key thing. How could he promote the left, middle, and right elders in such a big way? Moreover, Elder Yu was Elder Yu himself. How could he create another Elder Yu? Wouldn't the rules of Meow Village be messed up? Oh. Chapter 22-25. Elder Zhuo, do you mean that this was not done by Elder Yu, but by little tactician, Kun Cun, and He Gao in the Right Meow Village? Grandma Lan nodded and asked. That's right. Otherwise, why didn't Elder Yu announce it personally if there was no problem? It's such a big decision. If it were someone else, they would announce it personally, but Elder Yu didn't come out. What does this mean? Elder Zhuo said, this means that Elder Yu can't announce it at all. This should be because the three of them saw that Elder Yu couldn't take it anymore and became an idiot. They couldn't manage the right Meow Village anymore, so they decided to let the three of them take over. It makes sense. Grandma Lan agreed with Elder's words. In that case, Elder Yu really can't take it anymore. Then, it's time for us to attack the right Meow Village, or maybe it's because of internal strife. The deputy chief analyzed. Previously, it was the little tactician who monopolized the power after Elder Yu went into seclusion. But now, there are two more people. Maybe these two people don't accept the little tactician, so they forced the little tactician to make a decision. It had to be said that the deputy chief's speculation was basically close to the truth. That's right. However, even if it's internal strife, it also shows that Elder Yu is no longer able to control the right Meow Village. Otherwise, with Elder Yu's strength, how could he allow these people to have internal strife? Grandma Lan said, so, we can basically determine that Elder Yu's quick cicada voodoo has taken effect. Then, are we going to attack the right Meow Village? Yang Ming asked. And we'll go tomorrow. It's time to end it. Grandma Lan nodded and said, after so long, we can finally eliminate this traitor. The matter was settled. Early in the morning, Grandma Lan would lead people to attack the right Meow Village. Everyone discussed the plan in detail. Naturally, this plan would only be notified to the people in the Meow Village before they set off tomorrow. If they were notified earlier, the traitor here would probably send the news immediately. Although the right Meow Village was like a toothless tiger without Elder Yu, there was no need to be afraid. The others had no ability to resist at all. However, if they were prepared, it would be difficult to deal with these people when they were driven to desperation. On Granny Lan's side, she did not want to waste a single soldier. She wanted to annex the right Meow Village. Naturally, she could not leak the news beforehand. When the time came, they would be caught off guard. That way, they could completely wipe out the right Meow Village in one fell swoop. That night was undoubtedly an exciting one. Yang Ming, Feng Tianlong, Lu Yezi, Xiao Susu and Xia Shui were all very excited. Their mission when they came to Miaojiang was to eliminate Elder Yu. Tomorrow, this wish would be fulfilled, and their mission would be completed satisfactorily. They could go back and report. Lu Tianqi and Qin Shaojing were also very happy because once Elder Yu's matter was over, they could go back and see their parents. As for Yi, she was a little sad. Once the matter was over, she had to be separated from Lin Dongfang. Lin Dongfang could not leave the vicinity. There had to be spring water to maintain his life. Even in the past few days in Blue Meow Village, Lin Dongfang had already encountered a problem once. It was Yang Ming who took him to the spring water in a helicopter overnight. Of course, Yang Ming left secretly. He did not let Elder Yu's spy in Blue Meow Village see him. After all, Blue Meow Village often had helicopters flying out of the jungle to buy daily necessities in the town. Therefore, it was not eye-catching and special to have helicopters going back and forth. On the other hand, Lin Dongfang was very open-minded. He was used to the life in the mountains. If he were to return to the city, he would not be used to it. You will go back with Lu Yezi sooner or later. You should go and see the world. As for Godfather, I am used to the environment here. I don't want to leave. Lin Dongfang said, what's more, with your children accompanying me, I won't be too lonely. However, I am afraid that you and Lu Yezi will be reluctant. I will definitely be willing, said Yi. I have no problem with that. Lu Yezi quickly said, actually, according to my old man's usual style and thoughts, his children have to go out and experience the world, especially the boys. Just like me, don't I also come out to experience the world and do some dangerous missions? Therefore, it is normal for my son to stay here to experience the world. A jade that is not cut will not become useful. Since you said so, then I have nothing to worry about. Lin Dongfang laughed. He was very carefree. Early the next morning, Grandma Lan ordered Elders Hua and Lan Ling of Blue Miao Village to lead the elite members of Blue Miao Village to Elder Yu's village. As the deputy chief and Brother Rome were guarding Blue Miao Village, they were not afraid that someone would take the opportunity to cause trouble. At this time, even if Elder Yu's spy passed the news to the right Miao Village, it was too late. This was because by the time they passed the news, Grandma Lan had already brought people over. They had already arrived at the right Miao Village. His news was useless. The right Miao Village had just had a change of power yesterday. Little think tank, He Gao, and Kun Cun had just become the left, middle, and right elders. They had been celebrating the entire night. Naturally, the entire right Miao Village was drinking and celebrating as well. Therefore, many people were still drunk early in the morning. Even the people on duty at the entrance of the right Miao Village were dozing off with their eyes half closed. Suddenly, the few people on duty were woken up by a series of orderly footsteps. When they opened their eyes, they saw a large group of people rushing towards the right side of the Miao Village. They were instantly shocked. What's going on? Why do I see a large group of people? Are they still drunk? Said a guard as he shook his head. A large group of people. I see them too. Could it be that I'm also dreaming? The other guard also said in a daze. This is bad. Someone's attacking Miao Village. The third guard didn't drink as much. He was originally in a daze, but after hearing the words of the first two guards and looking at the black mass of people in front of him, he immediately realized that something was wrong, so he quickly shouted. Attacking Miao Village. When the other guards heard this, they also sobered up. They quickly picked up the bugle horn beside them and blew it, woo 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 woo. However, Grandma Lan was not afraid that he would bring people over. In Miao Village, only Elder Yu was skilled in witchcraft. The other subordinate's witchcraft was nothing compared to him. On Miao Village's side, Grandma Lan, Elder Zhua, Lan Ling and even Lu Tianqi were better at witchcraft than anyone except Elder Yu. Oh. Chapter 22-26. In terms of combat power, who could be a match for Lin Dongfang, Yang Ming, Lu Yezi, and the rest? Little think tank, He Gao, and Kun Cun were sleeping soundly when they were woken up by the emergency horn outside the village. It was the horn that signaled the invasion of the Hmong village. They had not heard it for a long time. They only heard it during training. Therefore, the three of them took a long time to understand the meaning of the horn. They quickly put on their clothes and ran out. Oh no! Blue Miao Village is attacking us. Help! There are too many of them. What should we do? Please don't kill us. Where's Elder Yu? Please come out and fight. As soon as Little Think Tank, He Gao, and Kun Cun came out, they heard many Hmong village people shouting in panic. What happened? What happened? Little Think Tank looked at the Hmong village people who were in a mess. He suppressed the panic in his heart and asked. The people from Blue Miao Village are attacking us. They're really attacking us. What should we do? What should we do? An ordinary person from Hmong village screamed and explained. What? The people from Blue Miao Village are here. Little Think Tank frowned. He did not expect that after so many days of peace, the people from Blue Miao Village would finally come. Little Think Tank guessed that Elder Yu had been tampered with by Dong Jun. In fact, he knew that it was only a matter of time before Blue Miao Village came looking for trouble. Without Elder Yu's protection, they were no match for Elder Yu at all. Looking at how the ordinary people in the village were running away in panic, it could be seen that they were just a mob. They did not have any combat power at all. They only knew how to run and call for help. When Little Think Tank heard those voices, He Gao and Kun Cun naturally heard them too. The two of them quickly ran out. When they saw Little Think Tank, they quickly ran over and asked, "Brother Think Tank, what happened? What's going on? Blue Meow Village is attacking us." Little Think Tank sighed and said, "He Gao, Kun Cun, we're no match for Blue Meow Village at all. We only have two choices now. We can either surrender obediently or fight to the death. We can't rely on Elder Yu. Look at him. Do you think he'll stand up for us?" Kun Cun and He Gao's expressions changed upon hearing Little Think Tank's words. Although they were alarmed, they had to admit that the Little Think Tank's words were very reasonable. After all, none of them surpassed Elder Yu in terms of voodoo attainments. However, Elder Yu was able to keep the Right Meow Village standing strong not only because of his Gu skills, but also because of his Jin Gang Gu. Only the Jin Gang Gu could make the people of Lon Meow Village feel such fear. In a situation where both sides were equally matched, the strength of the body played a crucial role. But now, all of this had become a thing of the past, a floating cloud. At this time, Elder Yu still hadn't come out, which naturally explained some problems. He Gao and Kun Cun were a little unwilling. They had just become the elders of the Right Meow Village, and it had only been a night. Was it going to become a thing of the past? Little Think Tank, the three of us are Elder Yu's trusted subordinates. Do you think the people of Lon Meow Village will let us go even if we surrender now? Kun Cun said, "We're almost at a dead end now." Yeah, Kun Cun is right. Even if we surrender, we won't be treated well. So, it's better to fight to the death. He Gao nodded and said, "Alright, my goose skills aren't good enough. The two of you lead people to fight. I'll ask Elder Yu to see if he can help. As long as Elder Yu is willing to help, then we can basically avoid this disaster. Otherwise, even if we fight with brute force, it'll be difficult to turn the situation around," said Little Think Tank. "Alright, then we'll have to trouble Brother Think Tank." He Gao and Kun Cun's eyes suddenly brightened. With Elder Yu's help, they indeed had a high chance of winning. As long as they could ask Elder Yu to help, then they would be able to overcome this difficulty. After that, they believed that Lon Meow Village wouldn't be able to attack again in a short period of time. Therefore, the three of them could continue to be the three elders of Right Meow Village without any worries. Sigh. Little Think Tank sighed and walked towards the place where Elder Yu was in seclusion. Kun Cun and He Gao quickly gathered their trusted subordinates and prepared to fight to the death with Lon Meow Village. At the entrance of Right Meow Village, Grandma Lon looked at the people of Right Meow Village who were in a mess and frowned. Even the guards who blew the horn to warn them had run away. The chaos in Right Meow Village had reached a certain level. Could it be that I overestimated this Right Meow Village? Aren't the people here too cowardly? Grandma Lon was speechless when she saw the situation in front of her. Yeah, why do I feel like we have more people? Elder Swa didn't know what to say. Logically speaking, they had been standing here for so long. Why hadn't Elder Yu come out yet? Could it be that the Right Meow Village had been too comfortable these days and had forgotten about the danger? Yang Ming, can you see Elder Yu's situation? Grandma Lon turned her head and asked Yang Ming. Grandma Lon already knew about Yang Ming's special ability. Of course, only a few important people in Lon Meow Village knew about it. The others still didn't know. Let me see. Yang Ming nodded and began to search in Right Meow Village. In fact, when he was in Lon Meow Village previously, Yang Ming could use his X-ray vision and telescopic vision to check the situation in Right Meow Village at any time. However, because the distance was too far, Yang Ming spent a lot of energy searching. Secondly, he was finally able to relax and rest in Lan Miao village with Lan Ling and the others for a few days. He didn't want to waste his energy doing other things. Moreover, there were spies from Lan Miao village in Right Miao village. It would be a waste not to use them. Yang Ming was happy to be at ease. However, when they really came, then Yang Ming couldn't relax. At this time, the situation was very strange. Yang Ming naturally had to find where Elder Yu was. Although Yang Ming also felt in his heart that Elder Yu was actually not enough to be a threat, he still felt confident after looking at him. However, just as Yang Ming was looking for Elder Yu, there was a sudden shout not far away. Could it be that Elder Yu is here? Yang Ming immediately looked in the direction of the sound, but he saw two unfamiliar people. They seemed to be Elder Yu's subordinates. They were leading a group of people to the entrance of Right Miao village. The two subordinates of Elder Yu are leading a group of people. There are about 100 people. Yang Ming said to Grandma Lan. They are finally here. Grandma Lan nodded. However, since it wasn't Elder Yu leading, Grandma Lan wasn't worried at all. Chapter 22-27. Yeah, they are finally here. I thought that no one in the Right Miao village would resist. Elders Wu nodded and said. Get ready. Although Elder Yu is not taking the lead, we should not underestimate the enemy. Grandma Lan said, remember, there is no harm in being careful. Elder Yu's loss this time was due to his carelessness, so let's not make the same mistake. Yes. Elder Swa and the others nodded quickly. Not long after, they saw He Gao and Kun Cun running over with a group of people. Grandma Lan naturally knew who these two people were. He Gao and Kun Cun, it really is the two of them. It seems that these two people are not reconciled. They just became elders, and we found them. They want to fight with us to the end. Just the two of them. I really don't look down on them. Elders Wu sighed. Just these two people, I can handle them myself. Madame Lan and Ling Ling are superfluous. Although Madame Lan didn't want Elders Wu to underestimate the enemy, there was no reason not to because these two people were indeed too weak. It was impossible not to underestimate the enemy. Seeing this situation, Yang Ming decisively stepped aside. Now he didn't need to do anything. Although Yang Ming was not afraid of these people's low-level voodoo, he didn't have the confidence to defeat them. He would leave it to Elders Wu and Grandma Lan to deal with it. Kun Cun, He Gao, you two small characters actually became elders. It's ridiculous. Elders Wu looked at the two people in front of him and sneered disdainfully. However, Elders Wu couldn't be blamed for looking down on them. He Gao and Kun Cun were once the people that Elder Yu took away from the Blue Miao village. At that time, He Gao and Kun Cun were just two small characters. Now they wanted to become elders of the Miao village. It was really wishful thinking. Elders Wu, who doesn't know how to boast? You are Elders Wu, and now I am also an elder. Everyone is the same. Who is afraid of who? He Gao snorted and said. Oh. Not afraid. Then let's try and see who is afraid of who. Elders Wu smiled slightly and reached out in the air. Although Yang Ming didn't understand it, he knew that Elders Wu was using some kind of voodoo. This could be seen from the change in He Gao's face. He Gao and Kun Cun were also waiting for the battle. The two of them also made strange gestures in the air as if they wanted to use voodoo to compete with Elders Wu, just like the competition between Lan Ling and Elder Yu. However, He Gao and Kun Cun obviously weren't Elders Wu's opponent. In just a few minutes, both of their foreheads were already covered in cold sweat. At this moment, the two of them were truly clear-headed. Previously, when they had just become the elders of the right Meow village, their confidence had been inflated, and they thought that they had already reached the same position as elders were. However, when they actually brought people over, they realized that having more people was useless. These people were nothing in front of elders were. It was a little difficult for the two of them to resist elders was voodoo technique. Now, they could barely counter elders was voodoo technique. However, it was absolutely impossible for them to fight back. Why? Is this all you two can do? You are not even as good as the other small leaders of our Blue Meow village. How dare you come out and embarrass yourself? Elders was said very disdainfully, I haven't even used my trump card yet, and you are already at your limit. You are struggling to hold on. I think it's better to surrender obediently. Don't waste my energy and time. Humph. Kun Cun and He Gao snorted coldly, but the two of them didn't surrender immediately. After all, they were very satisfied with their current identity and status. They didn't want to lose it, so they were fantasizing about the possibility of a reversal in their hearts. That was, the little tactician could invite Elder Yu over. As long as Elder Yu came, then everything would be fine. Only Elder Yu could resist Elders was attack. In fact, the little tactician had no confidence in being able to invite Elder Yu over. Although he was the most loyal, he was also the one who could see the situation clearly. The current situation was obviously one-sided. There was nothing that could stop Blue Meow Village's footsteps, not even Elder Yu. At this moment, Elder Yu was almost no different from a cripple. Perhaps, he only remembered that Yang Ming was his enemy. He wanted to take revenge on Yang Ming. As for other things, they had nothing to do with him. He had already given up on Right Meow Village, identity, and status. The little tactician was very clear about this. Therefore, the little tactician didn't quite agree with Kun Cun and He Gao's decision. However, since the two of them insisted, the little tactician couldn't do anything about it. Until now, the little tactician couldn't change anything. He could only sigh. Right Meow Village's momentum was gone. The little tactician stood at the place where Elder Yu was in seclusion. He knocked on the door and said, Elder Yu, are you there? Who is it? Who are you? What are you doing? Elder Yu's memory was deteriorating, but he didn't let his guard down. The only thing he forced himself to remember every day was that Yang Ming was his enemy. He had to take revenge on Yang Ming. He had to take revenge on Yang Ming. Even if he died, he had to drag someone down with him. He couldn't let Yang Ming have an easy time. Elder Yu, it's me, the little tactician. The little tactician pushed the door and walked in with a bitter smile. Little tactician. Who's the little tactician? Where's Yang Ming? Did Yang Ming come? Elder Yu knew that his time was running out, so he didn't bother to confirm the identity of the little tactician. He just wanted to know where Yang Ming was. I'm your subordinate. Yang Ming. Yang Ming is outside the village. He brought people to attack. You. The little tactician had no hope for Elder Yu, but when he suddenly heard Elder Yu ask about Yang Ming, the little tactician had an idea. If I can lead Elder Yu to the entrance of the village, can I use his hand to deal with Yang Ming? Thinking of this, the little tactician looked at Elder Yu with expectation. Sure enough, Elder Yu nodded without thinking and said, let's go. Take me to see Yang Ming. I want to see Yang Ming. Okay, Elder Yu, this way please. The little tactician said quickly. Just as the little tactician found Elder Yu, this scene was also seen clearly by Yang Ming, who was far away at the entrance of Meow Village. However, for the situation of Elder Yu, Yang Ming had some doubts. Elder Yu obviously didn't even recognize the little tactician, but he could still remember Yang Ming's name. He even said that he was looking for Yang Ming. This really made Yang Ming feel a little strange. However, although it was strange, Yang Ming still reminded Grandma Lan, Elder Yu, and Lan Ling, pay attention. The little tactician brought Elder Yu out. Everyone must be careful. Chapter 22-28. What? Elder Yu is here. Grandma Lan was slightly stunned. Didn't the quick cicada voodoo take effect? How can Elder Yu come out to fight? I don't know if he can fight, but looking at the situation, Elder Yu does have some problems. He should have lost his memory. Yang Ming said, little think tank brought him here, but his situation is a bit strange. Oh? Grandma Lan was about to ask something, but there was a commotion in the right Meow village, followed by a burst of cheers. Elder Yu is here. We are saved. The protector of the right Meow village is here. Ha 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 ha, Elder Yu, this time Elder Yu is here. Let's see what you can do. Kun Cun heard these cheers and knew that little think tank had invited Elder Yu. Originally, he couldn't hold on any longer, but when he heard the news that Elder Yu was coming, it was as if he had been injected with chicken blood. He was excited again. His hands quickly changed different gestures, and he resisted Elder's attack like crazy. He could hold on for as long as he could, because as long as Elder Yu came, he would be free. Little tactician seems to be quite impressive. He actually managed to invite Elder Yu over. He Gao also laughed after hearing it. He was also like he had taken a stimulant, quickly resisting Elder Yu's attack. Elder Yu is here. With a violent shout, Elder Yu's figure appeared in front of everyone. Great! Kun Cun and He Gao saw Elder Yu's figure and cheered at the same time. However, to everyone's surprise, Elder Yu didn't seem to come to help He Gao and Kun Cun deal with Elder Yu. He seemed to turn a blind eye to the current battle, but he shouted, "Where is Yang Ming? Where is Yang Ming? Elder Yu, Yang Ming is there." An underling next to He Gao pointed to Yang Ming not far away and said, "It's that person. The person in the gray plaid shirt is Yang Ming." "Ah, very good. Yang Ming, here I come." Elder Yu laughed and rushed toward Yang Ming. "Yang Ming, be careful." Grandma Lan and Lan Ling were shocked by this sudden change. They quickly warned Yang Ming. However, the two of them also knew that Elder Yu was very dangerous. They just blocked in front of Yang Ming with warning, but they did not dare to take the initiative to deal with Elder Yu. After all, Elder Yu's modified Jin Ganggu was not a joke, it was very powerful. Grandma Lan, Ling Ling, you guys get out of the way. Elder Yu is looking for me. Yang Ming knew that Elder Yu was very dangerous, but at this time, he had to face him head-on. Not to mention that Elder Yu was looking for Yang Ming, even if he was not, Yang Ming could not let Grandma Lan and Lan Ling rush up because they were not Elder Yu's opponent at this time. Yang Ming could only use his own Jin Ganggu to fight with Elder Yu's Jin Ganggu. Although he was not Elder Yu's opponent, he was at least a little stronger than others. However, what made Yang Ming very puzzled was how Elder Yu remembered him, Yang Ming. It seemed that Elder Yu did not remember anything at the moment. He did not even remember what Yang Ming looked like and needed others to identify him. However, he did not forget the name Yang Ming, which made Yang Ming feel very puzzled. Yang Ming, you have to be careful. Lan Ling and Grandma Lan hesitated, but they still moved aside. The only uncertain factor of the right Meow village was Elder Yu. Grandma Lan and Lan Ling did not have the confidence to compete with him. This was also the reason why the Blue Meow village had been unable to do anything to the right Meow village. Now, Elder Yu suddenly appeared. Although he seemed to have lost his memory and was crazy, he did not forget Yang Ming. This was not a good sign. Don't worry. Yang Ming nodded and said, I will be careful. In fact, when Yang Ming said this, he was a little uncertain. Careful. Is it useful in front of a dangerous person like Elder Yu? To be honest, facing Elder Yu, Yang Ming did not have any confidence to win. Even Lin Dongfang's Vigor Gu was not his opponent. How could Yang Ming deal with Elder Yu? Therefore, Yang Ming must first inquire about Elder Yu's actual situation. Elder Yu, are you looking for me? What's the matter? As Yang Ming spoke, he stared at Elder Yu and used his special ability. He wanted to hear Elder Yu's inner thoughts, but what made Yang Ming regret was that Elder Yu did not seem to be nervous at the moment. Yang Ming did not hear anything. Haha, there is, of course, there is. Elder Yu looked at Yang Ming and nodded. Yang Ming, what happened to me yesterday is your tomorrow. Everything that happened to me was caused by you. I want revenge. What do you mean? Yang Ming frowned. He did not understand what Elder Yu meant. Ha 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 ha, nothing. You will understand soon. As Elder Yu said this, he suddenly stretched out his hand and made a very strange gesture in front of Yang Ming. Then, he shouted, "Go!" With this shout, Elder Yu opened his mouth and spouted a black mist from his mouth. Yang Ming, be careful. Grandma Lan saw Elder Yu make that strange gesture, and her heart suddenly tightened. She suddenly shouted at Yang Ming. Yang Ming was already very puzzled after seeing Elder Yu make this strange gesture. Especially when he saw Elder Yu spit out the black mist from his mouth, he was even more puzzled and surprised. Then Yang Ming also heard Grandma Lan's shout, so Yang Ming subconsciously dodged. However, although Yang Ming dodged quickly, Elder Yu's black mist seemed to have eyes. No matter where Yang Ming dodged, the black mist followed him. Too late. Elder Yu watched proudly as the black mist quickly poured into Yang Ming's body and laughed, ha 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 ha. Yang Ming only felt his breathing stagnate as if something had poured into his body. It was very uncomfortable. What shocked Yang Ming the most was that he did not dodge this black mist. Yang Ming thought that his speed was already very fast. As the apprentice of the King of Assassins, Fang Tian, and learning Wang Xiaoyan's butterfly micro-steps, Yang Ming's movement technique could be said to be very fast, but he still did not dodge. This showed that Elder Yu's black mist had a tracking function. Yang Ming could not avoid it no matter how hard he tried. What did you do to my body? Yang Ming's face changed and asked with a frown. What did I do? I will explain it to you. Elder Yu said this, but he paused and took out a piece of paper from his pocket. Chapter 22-29. For Elder Yu's action, Yang Ming was somewhat inexplicable. Why did this guy stop talking halfway? However, seeing Elder Yu take out a piece of paper and flip through it, Yang Ming instantly understood why this guy still remembered his name after losing his memory. Because Yang Ming had already seen it through his X-ray vision. On the paper, it was written, "Great Enemy Yang Ming." Below were some methods to deal with Yang Ming and an explanation of why Yang Ming was his enemy. Although Yang Ming was a little speechless about Elder Yu's approach, he had to admire Elder Yu's talent. He actually used this method to record his hatred. Otherwise, he would not remember anything in a short time. But with this piece of paper to help Elder Yu, it could let Elder Yu always remember that he had an enemy called Yang Ming. After Elder Yu looked at this piece of paper a few times, he said, "Yang Ming, you tried every means to trick me, to destroy me, to get rid of me, but you didn't expect it, right? I used this method to remember you. Don't think that just because you instigated Dong Jun to use the quick cicada voodoo to deal with me and turn me into an idiot, I can't do anything to you. You didn't expect me to have such a move, right? How about it? Yang Ming, I force myself to remember one thing every day. That is, you are my great enemy. My failure is all because of you. I don't care about others, so I must take revenge on you. And now, I did it. Yang Ming, you don't know what the black fog that I just made is, right? You don't know what the consequences will be when they enter your body, right? What consequences? Yang Ming frowned and asked. Because Elder Yu spoke, Yang Ming could only shift his attention to Elder Yu again. He did not dare to continue reading the things on the paper. He was afraid that Elder Yu would play some tricks again. Therefore, Yang Ming really did not know what the black fog was and what the consequences would be. Let me tell you. That black fog was actually a modified version of the Jin Gang Gu poison that I forced out of my body. Elder Yu laughed and said, the modified version of Jin Gang Voodoo's voodoo poison does not exist in the form of voodoo worms. I used a secret method to force a part of it out and integrated it into your body. But don't worry, although it's only a portion, once it enters your body, it will rapidly multiply and grow. Soon, you will be like me, becoming the owner of the incomplete Jin Gang Gu. Moreover, you have no antidote. Ha 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 ha. Incomplete Jin Gang Gu. You forced a part of it out and infected me. Yang Ming understood Elder Yu's meaning, but he didn't understand what he meant. What kind of revenge was this? Yes. Yang Ming, your memory can't be that bad, right? Do you remember what I said just now? What happened to me yesterday is your tomorrow. Elder Yu sneered. You have an incomplete Jin Gang Gu in your body this time. In the future, you have to sacrifice with the blood of the dead regularly, otherwise, you will definitely die. Hee hee. You have also become an evil villain. Today, you want to get rid of me. Tomorrow, someone will want to get rid of you because of this. Ha 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 ha, Yang Ming, accept this fact. Although you can usually use animal blood as a substitute, every once in a while, you must sacrifice with human blood. Otherwise, you will be bitten by the voodoo poison and die. Is this your so-called revenge? Yang Ming frowned, looked at Elder Yu, and asked. Of course, how is it, Yang Ming? Isn't my trick of diverting trouble very powerful? In the future, you will become a thorn in the side of others. Said Elder Yu. Oh, but why did I hear you say that as long as you use the complete version of Jin Gang Gu and fuse it with the incomplete version of Jin Gang Gu, you can retain the powerful ability of the incomplete Jin Gang Gu, and you can be like the complete version of Jin Gang Gu without sacrificing with blood? To be honest, Yang Ming was really speechless after understanding Elder Yu's revenge plan. People with amnesia are really bad. Really? So what? Elder Yu's face changed slightly. He faintly felt that he seemed to have overlooked something, but his mind was empty, and he couldn't remember anything. In this case, you won't forget the purpose of you capturing me, right? Asked Yang Ming. The purpose of capturing you? Elder Yu frowned and quickly took out a few pieces of paper from his body and flipped through them. When he finished reading, his face suddenly became even more ugly. He seemed to have found something wrong. I asked you to refine the Jin Gang Gu for me. Yes, I succeeded in refining it, and I ate it myself. Thank you so much, thank you. What? Elder Yu finally understood what he had overlooked. In an instant, he felt a rush of blood to his brain. At this moment, he seemed to remember everything. He remembered the reason why he captured Yang Ming. Yang Ming refined the Jin Gang Gu but secretly consumed it. He was poisoned by Dong Jun with the quick cicada goo. In a state of amnesia, he wrote down the name of his enemy, Yang Ming. In a state of amnesia, he found a good way to deal with Yang Ming that he thought was perfect. However, this method helped Yang Ming. Not only did it not harm Yang Ming, but it also made Yang Ming stronger. Thinking of this, Elder Yu's heart surged with a burst of grievance, and a burst of anger rushed up. With a puff, he spat out a mouthful of blood, and then fell to the ground with blood and white foam in his mouth. His eyes rolled back and twitched, the few pieces of paper in his hand were also thrown to the ground, and they were blown away by the wind. This unforeseen event made everyone in Right Meow Village dumbfounded. Elder Yu had fallen. Their spiritual pillar had fallen. The strongest existence in Right Meow Village had fallen. No one could help them, and no one could be Blue Meow Village's opponent anymore. As for Heigao and Kun Cun, they did not expect things to develop like this at the last step. They were quite happy when they saw Elder Yu come out to deal with Yang Ming. If they could restrain Yang Ming and capture Yang Ming as a prisoner, they could also make Blue Meow Village hesitate. By then, they could negotiate with Blue Meow Village and get some benefits. But now, with Elder Yu falling to the ground, everything had turned into a bubble. Their hope collapsed at this moment. Heigao and Kun Cun even forgot to resist Elder Yu's attack. They stood on the spot in a daze, unable to speak. Chapter 22:30. Grandma Lan, Lan Ling, Elders Hua, and all the people of Lan Miao Village witnessed the whole process of the confrontation between Elder Yu and Yang Ming. They also understood the conversation between them. Everyone had a weird expression on their faces. This Elder Yu was really killed by his forgetfulness. This final trump card was probably thought of when he was forgetful. It was full of loopholes, but he didn't know it himself. As a result, once he used it, not only did it not deal with Yang Ming, but it also gave Yang Ming a huge advantage. Therefore, after he knew the truth, he directly vomited blood and fell to the ground, fainting. Of course, if Yang Ming didn't take the complete version of Jin Gang Gu, then one had to admit that Elder Yu's plan was really good. As long as Yang Ming didn't want to die, he had to regularly sacrifice human blood to his goo poison. In that case, Yang Ming would also become a dangerous person and be eliminated by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Yang Ming couldn't be allowed to harm others. Elder Yu's move could be said to be sinister and vicious. It put Yang Ming in a place of no return. However, he didn't consider Yang Ming's special situation. Not only was Yang Ming not threatened by his incomplete Jin Gang Gu, but because of this incomplete Jin Gang Gu, Yang Ming achieved an unbreakable body of Jin Gang. In fact, the current Yang Ming was countless times stronger than those Golden Bell Shield Masters. He was completely an invulnerable monster. Even if he was hit by a meteorite, he wouldn't die. Instead, the meteorite would collapse. Although he didn't have a strong attack power, it was easy to rely on the strength of his body to smash rocks and steel. Even if he jumped from a high altitude, he wouldn't fall to his death. He was completely a monster-like person. After Elder Yu's incomplete Jin Gang Gu and the Jin Gang Gu in Yang Ming's body fused, Yang Ming also deeply felt his strength. No wonder Elder Yu was so difficult to deal with in the past. He couldn't be caught or beaten. Because no matter what kind of tool was used to lock him up, he could rely on his own body to smash it and escape. Even if a missile was used to bomb him, it couldn't kill him. In other words, any weapon or tool was ineffective against him. Although he might not be able to do anything to you, you definitely couldn't do anything to him. Even Sun Sikong's high-tech weapons still had no effect on Elder Yu. Even if it was a high-tech laser cannon, it might not be able to cause any damage to Elder Yu. Now, Yang Ming felt this way. This was a sudden surge of confidence in the strength of his own body. It seemed that Elder Yu's confidence in the beginning was reasonable. The current Yang Ming had a strong feeling. Even in the face of Sun Sikong's unknown flying saucers, Yang Ming had the ability to smash them into scrap iron with his body. He didn't know if this strength was due to the fusion of the incomplete Jin Gang Gu and the Jin Gang Gu, but Yang Ming had no way to know. Probably when Elder Yu woke up again, he would become a person who didn't remember anything. Without the reminders of those papers, Elder Yu would no longer remember Yang Ming and others. The current Elder Yu obviously still had some common sense, logic, and words. He just forgot some people and things, but with the passage of time, these abilities would be forgotten one by one. When he didn't remember anything, he would be no different from an idiot. Looking at the once awe-inspiring Elder Yu, now lying motionless on the ground, Yang Ming was filled with emotion. It had to be said that Elder Yu was a genius. He actually changed the Jin Gang Gu to be so powerful, but such a person was still defeated in the end. This was probably the biggest opponent Yang Ming had encountered in his life, at least so far, the most powerful opponent. To beat him, Yang Ming could only say that it was luck. The right time, the right place, and the right people were indispensable. Of course, after inheriting the ability of Elder Yu, Yang Ming had a feeling of invincibility. Even if he faced Central again, facing Dr. Yang Ming also had the confidence to win. Perhaps, I can't do anything to you, but you can't do anything to me. With this kind of strength, it should be easier to negotiate with Central and let Dong Jun regain his freedom. However, what made Yang Ming most regretful was that Elder Yu was finished like this. He couldn't force out some of the incomplete version of Jin Gang Gu in his body and give it to Lin Dongfang and Lu Yezi. In that way, these two people would also become invincible. Although Yang Ming also had this incomplete version of Jin Gang Gu in his body, Yang Ming was not Elder Yu. He didn't know Elder Yu's mystic arts, and it was impossible to force out some of the Gu poison in his body to infect others. Therefore, only Yang Ming could have such a super strong body. Are you still fighting? Elders Wu saw that Kun Cun and He Gao even gave up resistance. They just stood there stupidly, at a loss. We surrender. Kun Cun and He Gao looked at each other and raised their hands. The situation was hopeless. Even a fool knew that they were no match for Elders Wu, let alone Madame Lan and Lan Ling who were standing next to him. Little Think Tank also sighed and said, since Elder Yu is already like this, the right Miao Village will naturally cease to exist. We are willing to join Blue Miao Village. Joining Blue Miao Village is not just a matter of words. Moreover, the three of you will no longer be commanders when you go back. You will be prisoners of a lower grade than the ordinary Miao Village people. Your freedom of movement will be restricted, but in Blue Miao Village, we won't bully you. As long as you complete your daily tasks, you will be the same as the others. Do you have any objections? Elder Swa asked. As for how to deal with the right Miao Village, Blue Miao Village had already discussed it in a meeting. As long as they restricted the few leaders, there would not be any problems. The rest of the people were like scattered sand. They were all ordinary people without much strength. It was impossible for them to cause any trouble. All right. He Gao and Kun Cun nodded. In their opinion, it was good enough that they didn't die. So what if they were prisoners? At least they were better than slaves, right? Staying alive was the most important thing. However, Little Think Tank said, I don't have much strength. I don't think I can do hard labor. Are there any clerical jobs? I can come up with ideas or something. Even if you restrict my freedom or lock me up, I really can't do hard labor. Little Think Tank, as for your problem, we will see your performance when we go back. You are the most loyal of Elder Yu. Don't think that we don't know. Grandma Lan snorted and said. Chapter 22:31. All right. The Little Think Tank also knew his situation. It was impossible for him to gain the trust of Blue Miao Village immediately, so he nodded and said, although I'm Elder Yu's loyal subordinate, I won't meddle in politics when I'm not in my position. I've done my best for Elder Yu, so I'm not betraying him. After all, it's impossible for him to manage a Miao Village in his current state. I only hope that you guys won't kill Elder Yu after I join Miao Village. Please give him food to eat. After all, he used to be my master. I can agree to this request of yours. Grandma Lan nodded and said, "Let's not talk about your request. Even if you didn't ask for it, Elder Yu is an old acquaintance of mine. He lived with me, Elder Zhua, the deputy chief, and even my husband, Lan Hai, in Blue Miao village for so long. We used to be best friends. Even if he took the wrong path and ended up like this, I won't make things difficult for him anymore. Let him stay in Blue Miao village and enjoy the rest of his life." "Thank you." Little Tactician nodded and said gratefully, "If that's the case, then I'll be loyal to Blue Miao village from now on. What happened in the past has come to an end. I don't owe Elder Yu anything anymore. Hee, we'll talk about it when we get back." Grandma Lan was obviously very happy. The biggest problem that had plagued her for many years had been solved. Without Elder Yu, the right Miao village had directly surrendered. These people from Miao village would follow her back to Blue Miao village even if she didn't tell them to. After all, without a strong Miao village to protect them, they would definitely be targeted by other Miao villages. They would definitely be taken over. By then, those Miao villages might not be as nice as Blue Miao village. Therefore, joining Blue Miao village now was their best choice. They could live a peaceful life in Blue Miao village, but it would be hard to say if they joined other Miao villages. Therefore, Elder Zhuo only said without Grandma Lan saying much, "Those who want to join Blue Miao village, pack your things and follow us." Therefore, the people from Miao village packed their things and prepared to follow the people from Blue Miao village back. There was nothing for Yang Ming and the rest to do here. Grandma Lan left Elder Zhuo behind to arrange for the new recruits to return to Lan Miao village with Lan Ling and Yang Ming. Phew. Finally, it's settled. Yang Ming took a deep breath and exhaled a mouthful of foul air. After such a long period of hard work, he could finally relax. This momentary feeling of relief made Yang Ming feel a little uncomfortable. Thinking back, the scene when he was just about to leave Songjiang City for Miaojiang was still vivid in his mind. At that time, he was nervous and confused. For Elder Yu, Yang Ming didn't have the slightest confidence, but now, that had become the past. Not only did Yang Ming trample Elder Yu under his feet, but he also inherited Elder Yu's powerful incomplete version of Jin Ganggu. It was a blessing in disguise. When Yang Ming described the characteristics of Elder Yu's incomplete version of Jin Ganggu to Lu Yezi, Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, Feng Tianlong, Dong Jun, and the rest, they were all amazed. "I didn't expect that, boss, you're so powerful now. I feel that even my old man is no match for you. You're simply inhuman, invulnerable." Lu Yezi praised. "It's okay." Yang Ming smiled bitterly. "This is also the result of a strange combination of circumstances. I didn't expect it to be like this." "That's great. This time, we're more confident in dealing with Professor Benjamin," Dong Jun said happily. "Sigh, but the mission is over. It's time for us to part." Feng Tianlong said sadly, "Once this is over, I'll accompany Su Su to travel around the world and spend the last time. This is also because I don't have the ability to save you." Lin Dongfang sighed and said, "But I'll keep researching. If Su Su really can't do it, I suggest you use the method of freezing and seal her body. Maybe in the future, I'll find a way." "Thank you, Mr. Lin." Feng Tianlong nodded. "I will, but won't there be any problems with freezing?" "Normal people might, but Su Su probably won't. She has this kind of extreme cold physique. With this kind of physique, in my opinion, not only will she not be damaged by the cold, but she can also retain her last trace of life. This is also the last hope," Lin Dongfang said. "I understand." Feng Tianlong nodded and said solemnly. Everyone knew that this was the time to part. After they returned to report, they would have to part ways, so they were a little sad. "Yezi, take care of Yi." Lin Dongfang patted Lu Yezi's shoulder and said, "Godfather, we won't leave immediately. At least we have to give birth to the child and leave the child with you. Then we'll leave." Yi said. "Hee, actually, I just said it casually. It's better for the child to follow you." Lin Dongfang shook his head and said, "I'm an old man, how can I take care of the child?" "Father-in-law, I said it before. It's better to let the child stay with you." Lu Yezi said, "Yi and I actually want to spend some time together. We haven't had enough yet." Yi glanced at Lu Yezi and suddenly blushed. However, she still nodded and said, "Yes, Godfather, I don't know how to take care of children. You are the one who brought me up. You are the most experienced." If that's the case, then okay. Then you two can spend some time together. When the child grows to 5 or 6 years old, you can take him away." Lin Dongfang nodded and said, "Okay, then we'll wait for the child to be 5 or 6 years old before we take him away." Lu Yezi nodded and said, "Yezi, are you and Yi going back to your planet?" Yang Ming looked at Lu Yezi and asked with emotion. "Yes, boss, when you have time in the future, you can also take sisters-in-law to our planet to play, right?" Lu Yezi nodded and said, "Of course, I'm going, but not now. I still have some things to solve." Yang Ming said, "You go back first. In the future, we will really be separated from each other. It will be difficult to see each other again." "It's not that difficult. I can come here by flying saucer." Lu Yezi said, "Moreover, my child needs your help to take care of. When the time comes, I'll let him recognize you as his godfather. Come on, isn't your son betrothed to Feng Tianlong and Susu? They are your son's godparents." Yang Ming smiled and looked at Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu and said, Chapter 2232. Then, you can be his master. "Boss, your martial arts are so powerful. You have to take care of your little brother's son," said Lu Yezi. "This can be considered." Yang Ming nodded thoughtfully. He was also considering the issue of accepting an apprentice. He didn't want to be like Feng Tian, who retired at such an old age. After solving Dr. Benjamin's matter this time, he wanted to live in seclusion. Then it's a deal." Lu Yezi nodded with satisfaction after listening. Then, he suddenly felt that something was wrong. That's not right. He is my son. How can he be betrothed? It should be their daughter who is betrothed to my son. After everyone heard Lu Yezi's words, they suddenly laughed. However, everyone also knew that this was just a joke because Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu's daughter would be like Xiao Susu and would not live past 20 years old. In this way, wouldn't Lu Yezi's son be in trouble? Moreover, although Lu Yezi's son was temporarily fostered with Lin Dongfang, he would definitely return to his own planet after 5 or 6 years old. At that time, they would never meet again. How could they talk about marriage? Therefore, everyone could only laugh this matter off. At night, Elders Wu brought all the people from Right Miao Village back to Blue Miao Village. Blue Miao Village uprooted Elders Wu and Right Miao Village effortlessly. The problem that had been plaguing them for years was finally resolved at this moment. Grandma Lon naturally informed Lon Hai of the news. It was estimated that Lon Hai would return to Lon Miao Village soon. The right-hand elder also woke up, but this time, the right-hand elder completely lost his memory after waking up. The previous flash of lucidity drained the last will in his body. Originally, the right-hand elder had to wait for some time before gradually losing the ability to live, move, speak, and read. However, after the previous disturbance, the right-hand elder directly lost these abilities and became no different from an idiot. For Elders Wu in this situation, Grandma Lon naturally didn't have the intention to kill him. Although Elder Zwa couldn't be killed, he would still starve to death if he was locked in the house and not given food or water. Although his body was extremely strong, with Elder Yu's current intelligence, it was impossible for him to think of using his own body to break through the house and escape. Therefore, if no one gave Elder Yu something to eat at this moment, he would forget to eat and starve to death. Yang Ming glanced at Elder Yu, who was sitting on the bed with a dull gaze and only knew how to giggle when he saw people. Elder Yu had the IQ of a newborn baby, and he couldn't help but sigh. He secretly lamented that the affairs of the world were fickle. He was once a peak existence, but now he had fallen to such a state. However, let him enjoy the rest of his life in Blue Meow Village, which was also his former residence. At the very least, Elder Yu was now carefree. He would no longer have to worry about scheming against others. However, a strange thing also happened. Shortly after Elder Yu woke up, Elder Yu's body began to twitch. Finally, he fainted while foaming at the mouth. As a result, Yang Ming and the others who had just left had no choice but to return. Elder Zwa, what's wrong with Elder Yu? Why did he faint while foaming at the mouth? Grandma Lon looked at Elder Yu, who had fainted on the bed and was unconscious, and asked curiously. Elder Zwa was also very puzzled. What happened to Elder Yu? When they arrived at Blue Meow Village, no one would do anything to Elder Yu because he was no longer a threat. However, he just fainted first. Therefore, Elder Zwa quickly reached out to check on Elder Yu's breathing and physical condition, but he couldn't find out anything. This made Elder Zwa even more puzzled. It seems that Elder Yu is poisoned. Otherwise, why did he suddenly faint? However, he has only been in Blue Meow Village for a few hours. There shouldn't be a chance for him to be poisoned. Why did this happen so suddenly? Yeah. Grandma Lon also frowned. Elder Zwa, what do you think of this? Is he really poisoned? Elder Yu hasn't eaten anything since he came to Blue Meow Village. Our Blue Meow Village definitely doesn't have the possibility of poisoning him to death. Therefore, Madam Lon, if you say that he is poisoned, I don't think it's scientific. Elder Zwa couldn't figure it out either. Grandma Lon, Brother Lin is a medical expert. Why don't we invite him to diagnose Elder Yu and see if he can see anything? Yang Ming suggested. Alright, then let's invite Lin Dongfang. Grandma Lon nodded. Soon, Lin Dongfang came to Elder Yu's room. A doctor had a benevolent heart. Lin Dongfang did not ignore Elder Yu because he was his former enemy. Instead, he examined Elder Yu very seriously. However, Elder Yu's current situation made Lin Dongfang very puzzled because he couldn't find out what was going on with Elder Yu. Elder Yu's pulse is very strange. It seems like he is poisoned, but it doesn't seem to be. According to my experience, it is more like he is not acclimatized. There is nothing wrong with Elder Yu's body at this moment. It probably won't affect his life for the time being. As Lin Dongfang spoke, his hand moved away from Elder Yu's wrist. This is strange. Why is he not acclimatized? This is Elder Yu's former residence. Why is he not acclimatized? Grandma Lon listened to Lin Dongfang's diagnosis, and her expression became extremely strange. It could be said that this result made her feel incredulous. However, this was what Miracle Dr. Lin Dongfang said, so Grandma Lon couldn't help but believe it. During this period of time, Grandma Lon also knew how powerful Lin Dongfang was, so she also believed what he said. I don't know about this. Lin Dongfang shook his head. After all, I only made a judgment based on Elder Yu's actual situation. I can't say for sure, alright. Grandma Lon smiled bitterly. Since there is no danger to his life, then let's not worry about it for the time being. We should also have dinner. Just as everyone was talking, suddenly a small leader of Lan Miao village ran over and said, "Madam Lan, reporting to Madam Lan. The village master is back." "What?" "Lan Hai is back." Grandma Lan was suddenly overjoyed and quickly said, "Okay, let's welcome him together." "Ling Ling, Young Ming, your grandfather is back." "What, Grandpa Ma is back?" Yang Ming was suddenly overjoyed. He hadn't seen Grandpa Ma for a long time. For Yang Ming to address Lan Hai as Grandpa Ma, Grandma Lan and Lan Ling were somewhat helpless. After all, Mu Xiaoyao was just Lan Hai's alias. However, when Lan Hai used this alias, he knew Yang Ming. Chapter 2233. Moreover, not only did they know each other, but they also had a very good relationship. Therefore, Yang Ming's address of Grandpa Ma was deeply ingrained. When Lan Hai returned, the entire Lan Miao village immediately rejoiced. He was the core figure of Lan Miao village. Although Lan Hai was not around, and Lan Miao village was managed by Grandma Lan, everyone had never missed Lan Hai less. Especially Elder Zhua, the deputy chief, and the others, they missed him even more. Although the two of them had no objections to Grandma Lan taking charge of the overall situation in Lan Miao village, they still had doubts about some of Grandma Lan's orders. For example, they objected to Lan Ling helping Yang Ming. If Lan Hai was here, they would have unconditionally obeyed. This was the authority of the village leader. Grandpa. Seeing Lan Hai, Lan Ling was very excited and moved. She quickly ran over and threw herself into Lan Hai's arms. "Ha, Ling Ling, I haven't seen you for a while. You've grown up again. Are you going to make Grandpa a great-grandpa soon?" Lan Hai laughed and teased. "Grandpa." Although Lan Ling was bold in front of Yang Ming, she was much more bashful in front of her grandpa. She lowered her head shyly. "Ah, Ling Ling, you're shy." Lan Hai laughed. "Grandpa Ma, I'm so happy to see you again." Yang Ming walked over with a smile and greeted Lan Hai. "Not bad, Yang Ming. I heard that you're the one who made the first contribution in dealing with Elder Yu. I'm very happy." Lan Hai looked at Yang Ming and said, "Kid, you and I have known each other for so many years. I'm very happy to see you grow up step by step." "Grandpa Ma, I didn't expect the guard to be Ling Ling's grandfather. He's also the village leader of Lan Miao village." Yang Ming smiled bitterly and said, "However, why are you hiding outside? Why don't you return to Lan Miao village?" This was a question that Yang Ming had always wanted to ask. Although he knew that Elder Yu wanted to kill Lan Hai, Elder Yu didn't even have the confidence to attack Lan Miao village. Why would Lan Hai hide outside? "It's not that I don't want to come back, but I can't." Lan Hai smiled wryly and said, "If I could come back, would have already returned to Lan Miao village. As long as I'm in Lan Miao village, Elder Yu won't dare to kill us even if he has 10,000 guts." "Oh. What's going on?" Yang Ming was momentarily stunned. However, it was normal for Yang Ming to be stunned. On the other side, Lan Ling, Grandma Lan, Elder Zhua, and the deputy chief were all stunned. They looked at Lan Hai in confusion. "Ha, this is actually a secret, but Elder Yu has lost now. This secret can be made public." Lan Hai said, "Actually, in Blue Miao village, there is a very powerful inheritance energy. This inheritance energy is the symbol of justice. It has a destructive effect on the traders of Blue Miao village, especially the evil ones. Elder Yu sacrificed the evil goo poison and violated the taboo of the inherited energy. If he dares to step foot in Blue Miao village, he'll be bound by the inherited energy and stay here forever." "Oh. I was wondering why Elder Yu didn't attack Blue Miao village. So this is the reason." After Grandma Lan heard Lan Hai's explanation, she suddenly realized why Elder Yu didn't attack Blue Meow Village. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but he couldn't, or rather, he didn't dare. Then, what does this have to do with you? Yang Ming asked curiously. If that's the case, then you don't have to hide. As long as you return to Blue Meow Village, won't you be able to rest easy? Even so, I can't come back. Lon Hai smiled bitterly and said, my body is actually closely related to the mysterious power of the inheritance. Every master of Lon Miao Village will receive the inheritance in our Lon Miao Village's sacrificial hall before they become master. As a result, a portion of the power of the inheritance will enter my body. When I was in Blue Meow Village, I could mobilize this mysterious energy and use it to easily kill the enemies who invaded Blue Meow Village. But, what does this have to do with not being able to come back? Although Yang Ming was surprised by Lon Hai's explanation, he was even more confused. That's what I'm going to say next. Lon Hai said, once the power of this inheritance enters my body, if I die unexpectedly, this mysterious power will disappear. The mysterious power of Lon Miao Village's ancestral hall will disappear as well until the next village chief appears and receives the inheritance from the ancestral hall again. However, it's not that easy for a leader to receive the inheritance. It's a resonance with the ancestors of Blue Meow Village. Only after the resonance can one receive the inheritance through their own comprehension. Usually, before the previous leader dies, the next leader is groomed and allowed to receive the inheritance through his own comprehension. Once the previous leader dies, the next leader will receive the inheritance easily after a long period of comprehension and resonance with the previous leader. However, there will be a period of blank time. If Elder Yu takes advantage of this time to invade Blue Meow Village, then no one will be able to defeat him. Ah! I see. After Yang Ming heard Lon Hai's words, he suddenly understood why Lon Hai was hiding everywhere. There was no other reason. It didn't matter if he died, but as long as he died, Blue Meow Village would be finished. It seems that Yang Ming also understands. If I appeared near Miaojiang and was seen by Elder Yu's informants, Elder Yu would never let me return to Blue Meow Village safely. He would definitely kill me at all costs. At that time, Blue Meow Village would be in real danger. Lon Hai said, and I'm not Elder Yu's opponent. So, in order to not let Blue Meow Village get hurt, I hid directly. If I don't die, Elder Yu wouldn't be able to do anything to Blue Meow Village. Then, why didn't you tell us in advance? You made us guard against Elder Yu's invasion every day. We were thinking of ways to kill Elder Yu. Lon Ling asked with some doubts. If I told you the truth, would you still have a sense of crisis? Without a sense of crisis, how would you go all out to find a way to deal with Elder Yu? Lon Hai shook his head and said, the reason why I didn't tell you was because I didn't want you to worry. Although it was dangerous outside, your grandmother had already mentally prepared for the possibility of me sacrificing myself. So, if I died, she would only avenge me. She wouldn't worry about anything. Chapter 22:34. However, if you knew the truth, my death would be closely related to Lon Miao Village. Although Lon Miao Village would be safe for the time being, you would have to worry about me every day. You're afraid that Elder Yu would find me. Once I die, Lon Miao Village would be in danger. Lon Hai continued, so, in the end, I didn't tell you these secrets. It seems that I was right not to tell you. That's right. Grandma Lon nodded and said, if you told us in advance, we would be distracted and worried about your safety. Moreover, after knowing that you are hiding in a safe place, we wouldn't be working day and night to find a way to deal with Elder Yu. However, in the end, it is Yang Ming and Ling Ling who made a great contribution. We didn't do anything. Elder Zhua smiled bitterly and said, it's really like the new generation excels the old. Each generation is stronger than the previous. Right, Elder Yu was caught and brought to our Miao village. Not long after, he fainted and his pulse was chaotic. Mr. Lin said that it was because he was not acclimatized to the environment. Is it because of the mysterious power of the ancestral hall that made him faint? Grandma Lan suddenly remembered Elder Yu's matter, so she asked. Yes, that should be the case. Lan Hai nodded and said, there is evil voodoo in Elder Yu's body, the incomplete version of Jin Gang voodoo. So when he came here, he was punished by the mysterious power, so he fainted. It seems that I was lucky. The incomplete version of Jin Gang voodoo in my body was merged with the complete version of Jin Gang voodoo and became the super powerful Jin Gang voodoo. Yang Ming said, otherwise, I am afraid that I will also be punished by the mysterious power of the ancestral hall. Otherwise, although you have the evil voodoo in your body, you haven't sacrificed the voodoo in your body with the blood of the people who just died, so you haven't been contaminated with the evil aura, so you won't be affected by the mysterious power. Lan Hai waved his hand and said, fortunately, you have the complete version of Jin Gang voodoo in your body. Otherwise, where can you find the blood of the people who just died to sacrifice it? Maybe you will embark on the path of crime. At that time, you will also become the public enemy of everyone. Yeah, this Elder Yu is bad enough. Yang Ming nodded and said, Elder Yu is in a coma. Will he wake up in the future? He won't. Lan Hai shook his head and said, he has already been punished by the mysterious power. As long as he is in Lan village, he will not wake up. Really? So that's how it is. If I had known earlier, I would have asked Grandpa's son to forcibly bring him to Lan Miao village with a flying saucer and put him here. He would have fainted immediately and saved us a lot of trouble. Lu Yezi said regretfully after hearing Lan Hai's words. Damn. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. If you don't want the UFO to be destroyed by him, you should go and catch him. If I hit that flying saucer now, it will definitely be destroyed. If you don't want to go back to your planet, you can give it a try. Fortunately, I didn't test it. Otherwise, it would really be over. Lu Yezi couldn't understand Yang Ming's current strength, but Yang Ming himself could deeply understand how powerful Elder Yu was. But Elder Yu is here. It is good that he is in a vegetative state. If he recovers, he won't stir up trouble again. Yang Ming said, let's keep him in a vegetative state first. Yeah, after all, he was also my right-hand man. After so many years, I have feelings for him. When I recall the days when I was young, it is still vivid in my mind as if it was just yesterday. Lan Hai also sighed, I didn't expect him to end up like this, right, Grandpa Ma? I suddenly thought of a very important question. Elder Yu, in Lan Miao village, won't have the blood of the people who just died for him to sacrifice. Can he still live? Yang Ming thought of his own situation and Elder Yu's situation, so he asked. Of course not. Didn't I say before? In Lan Miao village, he is punished by the mysterious power of the sacrificial hole. He will always be in a comatose state here, just like a vegetative state. Naturally, there is no need for any blood sacrifice. Lan Hai said, but, if he wakes up in other places and there is no blood sacrifice to the voodoo in his body, then he will die. So that's the case. Yang Ming nodded and said, it seems that this is the best home for Elder Yu. You can say so. Lan Hai also nodded. In the evening, after everyone had a sumptuous dinner together, Yang Ming and the others also said goodbye. Everyone was ready to return to the Medicine Valley again. After saying goodbye to Sun Sikong, they went back to submit the mission. The matter of Elder Yu had finally come to an end. After the end of this mission, Yang Ming, as the captain of the entire team, dialed Xia Bingbao's phone. Brother Xia, it's me. After Yang Ming picked up the phone, he said directly, "The mission has been completed. Elder Yu is finished." "Oh. Yang Ming, you have succeeded." When Xia Bingbao heard Yang Ming's report, he was surprised and happy. "That's great. Is your entire team safe? Is there one less?" "That's right, not one less, but there may be one more." Yang Ming was in a good mood, so he made a joke. "One more. You have captured Elder Yu alive. You want to bring him back?" Xia Bingbao was stunned. "It's Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu. They have the fruit of their love." Yang Ming said with a smile, "These two guys have gotten married in the Medicine Valley." When he called Xia Bingbao last time, he didn't say it because of the urgency of time. Naturally, it was impossible to talk about the romance between Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu. Now, he was free. Yang Ming naturally didn't mind teasing. "The two of them, oh. They are already together. They even have a child." Xia Bingbao said in surprise. "Yeah, the two of them even have a child." Yang Ming said with a smile, "That's why there is one more." As for Yi, she was not part of the operation team this time, so Yi's pregnancy had nothing to do with one more person returning. When the mission was handed in, it was still Yang Ming's team. Yi would not be with them. They got married in the Medicine Valley. "What about you?" Xia Bingbao suddenly asked mischievously. "Yang Ming, did anything happen between you and Xia Shui?" "We." When Yang Ming said this, he was a little embarrassed. "Brother Xia, it seems that I have to call you brother-in-law in the future." "Haha, I knew it. The two of you must have gotten together. How is it? Why didn't one of you come back?" Xia Bingbao also said jokingly. Chapter 2235. We don't. Our situation is different from Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu. They both. Yang Ming said and sighed. "I know about their situation. Feng Tianlong told me a long time ago. If this mission is successfully completed, he wants to take a long leave and accompany Xiao Susu to travel around the world." Xia Bingbao said, "So, when they come back this time, I will allow them to leave. Well, I can only bless them silently." Yang Ming said, "We won't bring Elder Yu back. He has become a vegetable. Let's leave him in Lanmiao village. It can be considered as letting him return to his roots here." Vegetable. By the way, Yang Ming, why don't you tell me how you dealt with Elder Yu? Xia Bingbao asked curiously. "Until now, I still don't know how you did it. Things are like this." At the moment, Yang Ming did not hide and told Xia Bingbao the whole process of dealing with Elder Yu. Xia Bingbao listened to Yang Ming's narration and couldn't help but be amazed. He didn't expect that Yang Ming and the others' mission would be so difficult and tortuous. In the end, he didn't expect that it would end in such a dramatic scene. Elder Yu was actually poisoned with the quick cicada voodoo with the help of senior brother Yang Ming and lost his memory. However, he still remembered that Yang Ming was his enemy. The last scene was even more thrilling. If Yang Ming made a mistake, he might become the same public enemy as Elder Yu. "Yang Ming, this mission is really difficult for you." Xia Bingbao smiled bitterly. "You are all powerful warriors. Hee, brother Xia, you don't have to praise me. After I go back, I also want to retire. This is what you promised me. Unless there is something that can't be solved, I won't do it again." Yang Ming said, "At that time, I am ready to live in seclusion on Island X and enjoy a happy life. This is what I promised you." "Naturally, there is no problem." Xia Bingbao said, "Not only you and Feng Tianlong, but also Lu Yezi. I know that he must leave. Your mission this time will be the last time you see him. you know about Lu Yezi too? Yang Ming was a little surprised. Of course I know, but I kept it a secret for him before. But now, I just tested you. It seems that you know it too. Xiao Bingbao nodded and said, he will definitely leave. So, all of you, cherish these last days. I understand. Don't worry, Brother Xiao. Yang Ming said, we'll return to the Medicine Valley tomorrow to settle some matters. We'll be back the day after tomorrow. We'll keep in touch then. Okay, I will contact you then. Xia Bingbao said, have a safe journey. Okay. Yang Ming hung up the phone. And after a night of revelry, everyone went to rest one after another. Tonight's night was destined to be quiet and warm. Everything was over. Yang Ming had never slept so soundly before. Of course, Dong Jun was not idle. Now that Yang Ming's matter was over, he could go all out to deal with Central and Dr. Benjamin with him. He hoped that Dr. Benjamin could see Yang Ming's tyrannical strength and take the initiative to compromise. Early the next morning, Yang Ming took the members of the team, including Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, Yi, and Qin Shaojing, to the Medicine Valley. Dong Jun couldn't go back with Yang Ming. He had to rush back to Songjiang City first. After all, Elder Yu was suddenly eliminated. If Dong Jun still acted with Yang Ming and Dr. Benjamin found out, he would definitely be suspicious. So, Dong Jun could only go first. Moreover, Yang Ming and the others had to go to the Yanjing Supernatural Investigation Bureau to hand in the mission to Xiao Bingbao. Naturally, it was impossible to go with him. So, Dong Jun also left Lanmiao village early in the morning. Yang Ming and the others also arrived at the Medicine Valley. Yang Ming and the others didn't go to the cave first. Instead, they returned to the place where they lived in the Medicine Valley. It was still the same as before, but no one lived here for many days. It was full of a bleak and desolate atmosphere. The electric scooter was still neatly parked in the square, but it was already covered with dust. The tables and chairs in the square also had a sense of dilapidation as no one took care of them for a few days. The doors of the house were all open. Although the things inside didn't change, it also lacked a sense of liveliness. We're back. After living here for so long, it's really emotional to come back here again. Yang Ming saw the scene in front of him and couldn't help but sigh. Yeah, but how long have you lived here? We've only lived here for a short time. Lin Dongfang also said emotionally, I didn't expect that we could really leave here one day. Before this, I had always planned to spend my remaining years here. However, Brother Lin, you really can't leave. You still have to live nearby, said Yang Ming. Yeah, when I came to the Medicine Valley to drink spring water these few days, I also flew the helicopter to investigate the other side of the mountain. There is a village there with hundreds of families. I'm going to settle there, said Lin Dongfang. Well, you won't be lonely living with so many villagers. Yang Ming nodded. This was just everyone's former residence. There was nothing to be nostalgic about. Everyone just took a few last glances, then boarded the helicopter again and flew in the direction of the cave. Although the speed of the electric scooter was also very fast, it was not as fast as the speed of the helicopter. Soon, the helicopter flew to the cave where Dr. Sun Sikong was located. Hearing the sound of the helicopter, Dr. Sun Sikong and Imo Kongwen also came out of the cave to greet this group of people. Dr. Sun Sikong could sense Yang Ming's glasses and Lu Yezi's jade pendant, so naturally, he could determine that the people in the helicopter were them, so he didn't hide. The helicopter slowly landed. Sure enough, Yang Ming and the others walked down from the helicopter. Grandpa's son. Yang Ming smiled and greeted Dr. Sun Sikong. His heart was full of gratitude. If he didn't meet Sun Sikong by chance and let Yang Ming and Lon Hai talk on the phone, then Yang Ming and others would probably still be trapped in the misunderstanding. Every day, they would study how to break Elder Yu's incomplete version of Jin Gang Voodoo instead of using other methods to kill Elder Yu. "Ha, Yang Ming, congratulations, you have successfully defeated Elder Yu," said Sun Sikong. "Oh. Grandpa's son, you already know." Yang Ming was slightly surprised after listening to Sun Sikong's words. "You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.